needs about 3 coffees now and he went about bloody whatever else. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Disabled Team. Hope everyone's doing well. Titch, mate, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you, Stuart. And as always, it's a pleasure to be part of the channel on the stream.
Good man, good man. Making his debut, Russell. How are you, our friend?
I'm doing good. I've got my Leeds United Cup, and I've got my making my debut with Stuart, Titch, Lee, and Cieran. So yeah, I'm looking forward to having a chat about all things Leeds and West Ham, because I've noticed that you guys seem to have quite a big West Ham influence. And I'm looking at Tish's shirt and I'm trying to figure out what nationality is on that shirt, Tish. What
Morocco. So basically,
Morocco.
I went to Marrakesh about 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
And
I've got a bit of a weird thing. I know I've gone on a bit of a tangent here, so I'm sorry, but every country I visit, I buy the national top.
Right.
So I got a load up in my my spare room, actually, national tops, but it did catch my eye at the start.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't really get to wear it. So I thought, you know what, I'll wear it today. So yeah, Morocco. From Morocco.
Oh,
and how are you, Cieran, my friend?
I'm good on a little bit of a chilly Brisbane morning, but the sun's just coming up behind me and it's getting warmer. And I've got a Jose Feliciano mug, if you remember that name, Stuart. He was a bit of a guitarist, pop star in the 60s, 70s. There you go.
I'm born in the 80s, so my music knowledge is as much as my football and pronunciation knowledge. Rubbish.
What's his name, Cieran?
He's sort of there's some hits he had in the 60s and 70s. He's known for his guitar work as well. You know, he's a top guitarist. And he came to Brisbane about 3 years ago, and because Cieran was into guitar and that, I bought him a guitar. I took him to watch him, and he was about 14 or maybe 15, 16, and he was the youngest man. Everyone else is in their sort of 60s and 70s, right? And he became a little star in the audience because everyone was going up. Oh, it's great to see a youngster at one of these. Yeah. And he just loved listening to his guitar, and he was pretty good, mate. Very good.
So you're in Australia then? I didn't realise that. Whereabouts in Australia are you?
Yeah, Russ. Yeah. And
years, isn't it?
It's nice to have someone on, Russell, like yourself, to talk some sense and that. And
you haven't heard me talk yet. I don't talk sense. That's why I put notes down as I go. So. No,
I did notice you in one of Stuart's chats before, and you were talking a lot of sense. So I went, ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah. It's quite interesting. When you kind of saying stuff in the comments, you don't really know if it comes across right or not, do you? But
you do. That's right.
You can only say what you think, and you're always going to get some people that don't like it and some that do. So I just kind of say what I think, and you're never going to get everyone agree with you, are you? So.
Yeah. No, I did notice you there because I just say, cause if someone's not talking right, I just say, look, mate, you're talking bollocks. Stop it.
He will as well.
It sounds the way you say it when you got a London accent makes it sound quite funny as well. You know, bollocks.
Yeah.
It's quite funny when you say it like that. So, just to let you know, it's Stuart, Tish, Lee, Cieran, Stuart. I am looking at my iPad here, so if I'm not looking at the screen, I'm kind of comment. I'm still in the comments, but I like to kind of read them as I'm talking to you guys. So I'm not ignoring you. I'm just looking at my iPad and listening at the same time. So,
well, what I try and do on this channel, Russell, is I try and read everybody's comments out. I think I'm one of these people who believe in people are willing to put a comment in the chat. It's it's my duty to make sure that it's read out. You know what I mean? There's too many channels where people put comments in and they just get skipped over.
I guess if it's really popular, like if you got like loads of people in it, it's really hard to keep up. But I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know if anyone else noticed it. I think I was watching your stream last week when it was you and Tish, and it was hilarious watching Tish kind of.
Yeah,
I could feel all the comments were going through, and obviously Tish is one of these guys that has to kind of keep up. And then you obviously let it build up, Stu. I can see his head was kind of semi-exploding.
Yeah.
It was quite funny to watch. I was laughing at that. So.
BigMallys in the house as always. He's early in chat. Good evening, all. I've changed my mind. Nothing in this Barcelona deal makes any sense. And with Rafa, I'm now open to talking with Chelsea. I see him going there now.
What's the update? Russ says that, Russ or Stuart, I don't know what's happened, especially overnight. Any updates on the Rafa situation?
I'll let Stuart have this. Yeah, Stuart, go for this one.
Well, last I've heard, and Russell will correct me if I'm totally wrong here, but the last I've heard is even if we agree this deal with Barcelona aren't willing to make the first instalment till next year.
Yeah, because they're skint, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're skint.
Whereas I think Chelsea's offered us the money up front, haven't they? All of the money up front.
Yeah, as they would.
So it doesn't make sense to deal with Barcelona. I don't understand why
this is what's going on, though, isn't it? You got Chelsea, this new owner's come in. You've got Barcelona, who are skint. How they're doing any business is amazing. Even bidding for players is amazing. And you look at Chelsea, they got Broha and Conor Gallagher. There's 70, 80 million pounds of players they're not even using that they can sell to cover their money, So they could sell them.
I've got an idea. We've got a couple of West Ham fans in the comments and in here. Why don't between all four of us we can do a bit of negotiating between our clubs? You can give us Ben Rama, and let's say 60 million, and you can have Rafinha. We can get it all done between us. Maybe.
I tell you what, I wouldn't be adverse to that. I'll tell you that now, Russell.
Geez, 60 million and Ben Rama,
Yeah. I think that's. What do you think, Stuart? I think that's a pretty good deal. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I've watched Ben Rama. I've watched West Ham quite a lot this season.
He don't want
it. I've got a deal.
I'm trying to be nice to Ben Rama. I am. Look, he don't want. How many times have we seen him back out of tackles? Don't like challenging, does he? He don't like being hurt. And I think I don't know if it's because of the way. I don't know what it is, but he slows the game down for West Ham. He slows your attack down.
Absolutely.
I like Booker says Chuck Bowen in as well. That sounds even better.
I've got a real deal that I'm trying to be semi-realistic. I think Cieran will go for this deal. We'll give you Ben Rama, Vlasic, and 25 mil if you give us Rafinha.
No, you're all right.
Stu, what? I don't know, Stu. I mean, Vlasic.
That's a good deal.
Do you know what? One of my best mates in the real world, I call this fantasy world what we're on now. I'm quite clued up on West Ham because me and him we're in fantasy football together, and I know him in the real world, and we communicate a lot. So I know quite a bit with what's going on with West Ham, and he kind of keeps me in the loop. But Vlasic is an odd one, isn't he? Because you signed him for a lot of money. I think it's about 25 million from Russia.
Yeah, I know.
And he hasn't really done it, guys.
No, his deal is anything between 18 and 28, depending, with bonuses or whatever add-ons. So it's hard to nail down actually what we've paid for him, but it's anything between that. And no, he hasn't really had enough game time. He hasn't shown it when he has had game time, and it's a bit of a worry that he's not going to make it. We'd lose. I think if we told him now, we'd lose a lot of money.
As always.
Yeah.
How you doing, Alison?
I think with Ben Rama, I think what put a load of it didn't put me off personally. What I think it put off a lot of Leeds fans. He did like a big, I thought it was a holiday video or something. I don't know if you remember that, Stu. He did some
video. Flashing it.
Yeah, it was quite flashy, but I was always of the thing. I was still like, I still want Ben Rama. I mean, I've said it in the comments before, but I just think he's fantastic. I really do think. I don't think you guys have got the best out of him. I think he could flourish at Leeds. I'd love him at Leeds. Ben Rama, I think he's fantastic. I really do.
Well, I've said, I don't know, for about 8 months, Russell. 8 months ago, I when he was doing my editing, I'd thought that he would be perfect in a Bielsa team.
Mm.
Well, I think the way we'll play now, I think we're going to go 4-2-3-1. I mean, I've got in my head looking at thingy, and I see him as kind of like one of those three.
Yeah.
Kind of
Well,
to
if
play
it works
behind
under him,
Bamford.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
But I think he's fantastic. I really rate him. I mean, I know he was good last year because I had him in my fantasy football at the start of the season, and he got me loads of points to start.
Well.
Yeah, he did really well at the start. So
you see, a footballer don't go bad overnight, does he? If you know what I mean. There's no such thing as a footballer going bad overnight. I mean, yeah, you can lose your form, you can lose your confidence, but you don't necessarily mean that you're a bad footballer.
Look, you can safely say, Stuart, that there's no bad players in the Premier League. It's just whether they're up to standard and whether they've got the confidence or form. They're all good players in their own right.
Yeah.
You know, but something like Maguire, if you look at Maguire at Man United, he's a good centre half. Last year, he was woeful at Man United, and I think that's confidence. I think it's just a mess that Man United are in. He's never been on a. He played for England. He does a job. Plus, he's one of them that he's not a ball playing centre half for me. And Man United want him to be that. And if they play a high line, he gets caught out. When he plays for England, he plays deep. He does his job, and he's very good at it. So, but everyone will, be a lot of Man United players now think he's absolute shit, but he's not. He's a good player in the wrong system at the wrong club. That's all it is. Now, Ben Rama's a bit like that for me. He doesn't seem to suit Moyes at West Ham, and where I think he could suit Leeds or he could suit Leicester, maybe, whoever. But he's a good player. He's just at the wrong club for me.
What are you guys thinking to this new Swansea player you guys signed? Because our mate's saying he's got an unbelievable pass completion. I've never heard of him. And
never heard of him.
He could be another Jared Bowen for you guys. What's the score with him? Is he meant to be good or?
All right, let me go first. Oh no, Kieran, you go.
I've got to put a kettle on. Go on.
Oh, all right. So what I was going to say is I've never heard of this guy, and unlike Jared Bowen, and I spoke to Stuart about this before, when Jared Bowen was at Hull, when you're watching Soccer Saturday or whatever sports program, his name kept popping up. So although I didn't know too much about him from a playing point of view, I knew this guy scores goals for Hull in the Championship. Now, this is why I don't do speculation videos and none of that, because this guy wasn't linked to West Ham. I've never heard of him, not even his name. Like, I've never heard of his name. Now, I'm hearing certain people, talk about his attributes, like they've known him and all of this. So I know nothing of this player. I think all he's doing is he's a body through the door. He fits the criteria of English. He came through the English system. And in reality, we've lost Mark Noble, and this guy's probably just coming in to replace him in regards to a squad member that is probably going to be back up to Rice and Souček. So I'm not overly excited about this signing at all. And I don't know nothing about it.
Could be a sleep hit, though, Tish. Could be one of those ones, you know what I'm saying? Could be a sleeper one.
I hope so. I mean, let me just say one thing first, Russell. Sorry. Then I find out, West Ham's there's always questions as to who's making the signing. Is it the management? Is it the scouts? Is it the director? Whatever. Now, I found out that Mark Warburton, who joined us recently as a assistant manager, his daughter runs or is the manager of the agency that Flynn Downs is basically he's one of her clients. So that for me doesn't sound too good either, especially as no one was talking about this guy. I don't know if you knew that or not.
No.
Right. So yeah. So now for me, that's a bit questionable as to who signed him and why was he signed.
I tell you what got me thinking about when you just said about a signing that came out of nowhere, and I don't know about you, Stuart, whether you think the same. Is that winger we signed from Portugal? No, the Colombian winger we just signed from Feyenoord. To me, that I didn't know. I hadn't heard any rumours about him. Did you?
No.
That came out of nowhere.
So it's Thierry or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Its numbers look good, you know what I mean? And his YouTube video clips look really good. He can score with both feet. He can score with his head. But anybody can make a YouTube video what makes you look really good, can't they?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I look really good on it, Stu.
You do, mate. You do.
Kieran, what about you on this Flynn Downs?
Yeah, same as you, Titch. I'd never heard of him. Never heard of the boy. So I looked into him. I actually went to a couple of Swansea channels. and watch a couple of their bits. And there was one there, a day in the life of him at Swansea. And what I got from that, and that's just what, some girl following him from when he left home to doing his training and talking. And he came across really well. I don't know how many months ago, 6 months ago this was done. And he came across a real good chap and loved it there at Swansea. The fans, that's a big thing for me. The fans of Swansea have only had him there a year, but loved him really, and had nothing good to say about him when he left. They weren't griping about him leaving, or they said, "No, good luck to him. He deserves it." So that's a good sign when the fans are on his side. And then when he watched,
is he Welsh or is
no, he's an Essex boy. He's from Brentwood. He's a West Ham fan.
Oh, okay.
All his family are West Ham fans, and that's what convinced him to go, because he was basically signed up for Palace. Palace had more or less done the deal, and when West Ham came in, he went, "No, I'm going to West Ham." That was that. So we hijacked. Yeah. Plus, he just wanted to go to West Ham rather than Palace. So, and when you see the YouTube of him, he's very Declan Rice-esque.
Yeah. I have seen little bits, but yeah.
Really is. He's a bit tenacious. He gets that foot in. He breaks up play really well. He's passing. And I watched one of Hammer's chat with Gio there, and he come up with a great stat on his passing. And I'm not one for stats, so rather use my eyes, see what a player's like. But this stat was impressive. Out of all the 4 leagues, passing completion rate, you had Declan Rice in third. You had Rodri in second, and Flynn Downs was first.
First out of the top.
In percentages. He was the first out of all the 4 divisions for his passing rate. Now, whether that was, he just passes it back to the goalkeeper, I'm not sure. But he got it right, 93% of the time. So that was a good stat. Like you, I don't believe he's a starter. I think he's a project. I think he's there to replace Noble. And it strengthens our bench. Something I've always kept saying. We have to strengthen our bench, not just the first team. And that's a good start. That's a great start.
That sounds similar to Leeds right now. We're really trying to strengthen the bench and the depth now.
Yeah, you've got to, especially next season with 5 substitutions. That bench has got to be strong. It's as simple as that. And not unless he went with Souček, Rice and him, which is doubtful, but it's a possibility. And plus, you can give Souček a rest, as everyone's complaining about his fatigue last year. So, it's a good signing for good money, between 9 and 12 million. That's a great, that's good business. And what I did love, what made me more excited about the transfer, that no one knew, and it was done in 2 days. That's what I like to see in the transfer window. Not all these rumours and links for months and months. Bollocks to that. Nonsense. I'd rather just see that kind of signing out of the blue. No one knew nothing. Great. Love it.
Well, you wouldn't enjoy being a Leeds fan with Rafinha right now. That's dragging on forever, that one. Jeez.
Yeah, exactly. Woo. And we've got that with Lingard. It just becomes painful and annoying. I just had enough of it.
Yeah. This came from Stuart, and Stuart would have seen this online. But going back to Barcelona and Rafinha, by all accounts, Barcelona owe Frankie de Jong £17 million euros in unpaid wages, right? Now, if that figure's correct, that would lead me to believe that you owe other players money. So let's just round it off to 30 mil, right? So they're not in any position to be signing anybody. And the fact that Man United want De Jong and they've said he's not for sale, I think that that's where, the court of arbitration step in and say, look, he's valued at about 60. If he wants to go, you need to sell him. You owe him money. And from that 60 million, you better pay him his wages. Do you understand? So I don't think they're in any position. And all the while, they are, selling Rafinha a dream. That's hindering Leeds' chances of making signings. But I think Leeds have been smart in the transfer window by actually just getting the business done and not waiting on Phillips and Rafinha to be sold. So, but Barcelona didn't know that, and I think that if that was West Ham, for instance, we'd be waiting on the sale to go through before we actually do anything. And Leeds need to.
I tell you what's frustrating me with these transfer tests, and if you want me to shut up at any point, Stu, just let me know because I know I'm blabbing on a bit. I'll tell you what's annoyed me with Phillips and Rafinha is we seem to be the one time for a long time we've been able to sell players for a lot of money, big money. They've only wanted to go to one club each, which has really weakened our position. And then we get Rafinha, who wants to go to the only European super club who are in the trash right now. I mean, Barcelona and Rafinha, it's a very, to me, it's a very simple, how can I put it, equation. You either, you pay what we want, or you give us exactly the same what Chelsea are offering. No installments, no, delaying it, dragging it out, which seems to be the kind of rumours. You pay what we want, you get your player. It's as simple as that. I personally would like the thought of Rafinha staying for another 6 months, but clearly from the news today, because I was kind of kept checking and going, well, let's see if he goes to Australia. With him not going, I can see that obviously he's going to go. But obviously, what's frustrating with that is I suspect Rafinha is going to be sold while we're in Australia. We're going to have do a lot of our tour before we get other people with that Rafinha money. So it's a bit frustrating because it'd been nice to have all that mopped up pre-Australia, but now we're going to have to be signing players. Because we are going to sign players if we sell Rafinha, even if it's to Barcelona at these stupid instalments. So it would have been nice to have that done before the tour. But it'd be interesting to see who they bring in after it. I mean, I still think we need 4 positions. I don't know if Stuart's with me on this and anyone in the comments. But I think we need a goalkeeper still, a left back, and that's a clear problem now. Another centre midfielder, Sanderberg, O'Brien, and a forward. That's what I'm thinking. So I don't know what you guys in the comments are thinking, and Stuart on the lead side.
I agree with that. I agree.
But it is a bit frustrating. It's kind of he's not going with us, so it's clearly going to be sold now. So.
Well, our only left back at club's injured now, isn't he? I know he's only picked up a knock, but he hasn't gone to the Australia tour. He didn't get on. He hasn't gone on playing Firpo. Yeah, he hasn't gone. So they're saying that the likes of Yelder can be a left back. There's talk of Jack Harrison doing a job at left back, but does he want to play there? You know what I mean? It's more of a forward, is Jack Harrison, and. They're adamant that they won't looking at a left back, but I think they're going to have to change the stance a bit now.
Masuaku, 10 mil.
No, you're all right.
But I think we're falling into that thing, Stu, then of square pegs, round holes again, aren't we, with Harrison? Yeah. Last season, we were in that kind of, we didn't want to do that. We were kind of thinking this year, we all love Bielsa, but he did move people into weird positions. I was had in my head this year, it was going to be left back, right back, centre back. I don't know if you want to have a browse through the comments, Stuart, because I think Tish's head would be exploded because there's so many comments coming through. I can see Tish is as red as his shirt right now. So
there's probably loads in there. While you do the comments, I don't know if you noticed Stuart, Russell, and Cieran, to show how broke Barcelona are. One of our players, he's a Barcelona fan. His dad's Spanish, his mum's Colombian. He's a proper Barcelona fan. I didn't know until yesterday at training that Barcelona have changed their stadium name to Spotify Camp Nou or Spotify Nou Camp. That's how bad things have got for Barcelona. But anyway, back to the comments. Yeah, they're broke.
Right. I'll try catch up with as many as we can. Right. Good evening, all. I agree, Big Mally. This deal needs sorting out as soon as possible. Dragging on too long, which it is. Michael Brown. Hiya, Michael. I'd say nice to everybody.
I did, Michael.
Alison says, I Russell, Titch, Lee and Cieran. Well, Lee's in bed, but I'll let him know when he wakes up. Hello. Like you said, hello to him, Alison. That's how Russell saying hello to everybody.
Oh, yeah, sorry, you might see my comments in there because I kind of comment as I go. So
yeah, no, you don't worry about it. That's fine, Russell. How's the weather in England? It's a pretty grey over here in Ireland. Very warm.
Nice.
It's warm over here.
Hot. Proper hot today, man.
Yeah, it's been nice. It's been nice.
Yeah, it's so muggy, innit? I'm sweating now.
No, really hot.
Russell, were you previously on the Leeds United supporting the LS11 podcast?
Oh, yeah, I've been on LS11 a few times, yeah, with those guys. Nice lads, actually, yeah.
I need the magnifying glass for Stu. Am I that small?
Yeah.
I saw that out a bit, don't you worry about that.
You're this little head in the distance.
I look better the smaller I am, the better I look.
Yeah, I think that.
I'm good evening.
Big up, Broski.
Good evening, lads.
Broski in the
house.
Welcome to the Russell Show. Russell's knowledgeable. Sitting on the decking with you guys on. That sounds lovely.
Living the life.
Lovely. Russell speaking well. Russell is. He always speaks well, does Russell?
I do sales, so I like talking. Sometimes I need to shut up. I talk too much, so I have to be quiet sometimes.
This one is funny. This comment.
The new guy knows Titch so well.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? What do you think he means by that?
Yeah, because of his OCD or whatever he's got.
Yeah. He said you spotted that already.
Oh yeah, it just made me laugh. It was making me laugh in the stream I was watching with you and Stuart. So,
evening, Boca.
Good evening, Boca from sunny Spain. It's Boca.
G'day, Boca.
Russell, sorry, didn't know your name. I'm going to have to learn to put names underneath people, aren't I?
You could just click it on now.
Hey up, Russell.
hello.
Good to see you, Alison. It is good to see Alison. It always is. Bastard have no money. No, they don't. Alison's saying hi to Michael and Boca, and you'll say no problem to Hammerhead. Russell and you. Amskin, there is beyond hope. They are beyond hope.
Yeah.
Around Barcelona, they are. It's true. Getting sick of this old Rafa thing. Just feel sorry for West Ham fans who's had to go through the bloody Lingard thing for the past 18 months. That's been 18 months, hasn't it? That saga now with Lingard.
Yeah, you just don't take any notice of it anymore, mate. Just if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. That's it. Just ignore
Rafinha has asked not to go out on their Australian tour, which Leeds have agreed so that he can sort out his transfer saga. Yeah, and also he won't want to get injured. He won't want to pick up an injury, will he?
Truck Bowen in.
Chuck Bowen in. I don't mind Bowen. I like Bowen. Where's the boy wonder, Stuart? He's had a long day. He went to the festival today and he's in bloody wedding. £28 million for Vlasic. If we qualify for the Champions League win thing, 3 seasons, but the standard deal was about 20 million according to Hammerhead.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about right. It's about
That's
right.
not. That's because initially I thought it was like. The report said was like 33 mil. You know when we first got him, I was thinking, what? So 20 mil. No,
it did get clarified. It was, like I said, it was starting off at 18, and if he hit all the targets and played that many games, and if it rose to 28. So we never done any of that with him. So you'd think it's around 20 million.
Good.
BigMallys says Firpo got injured looking for his passport. Vlasic has
Bundesliga
written all over him. Ben Rama could end up back at Brentford.
He could. It's a possibility. I'd say you listen to Brentford fans anyway. They'd love to have him back because he was good there.
So would Thomas Franks.
So who knows? But I don't think we're selling him, to be honest. Unfortunately, I watched. I went to try to watch as little as possible, but West Ham playing that Servette in Switzerland yesterday. Oh my God, it was just a training game, hard to watch. But and you take it as that. You're not that bothered. With a lot of youngsters in there, but the one player that again frustrated me was Ben Rama. Okay. He was poor. He was poor again against a team like that, and I went, oh God. So there you go.
Evening, Lawrence.
Good evening, Brother Lawrence. Hello, everyone from Lexington, Kentucky.
Lexington,
Lexington, Kentucky. He's changed his bloody address, hasn't he?
Yeah,
USA New Irons. He's moved, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got kicked out of the house, didn't he? For drug dealing.
Very quickly, Stuart, you might get a lot more Americans coming in there now because we are a very American-esque club, aren't we? With our
Red Bull Leeds United.
Yeah, so you might get a few more Americans now coming in.
Leeds soccer.
Soccer.
Everyone's welcome here.
It's football, not soccer. football.
That's something what really annoys me. That one word. He's going to have to change that in his bloody press conferences.
And it's not a roster. It's not a roster.
This better be right. This comment by Hammerhead. I would hope that is right rather than.
Right, I'll let you read that one out because it sounds important.
Right, so Cieran, I don't know if you know. So basically, he says Moyes released a statement today saying he's responsible for scouting Downs and he believes he has a real chance of becoming a top Premier League player. My issue is that after we signed him, I found out that Mark Warburton's daughter is the manager or runs, the agency that he is part of. So it kind of just
the Wasserman agency. She works for them, but apparently we have been scouting this guy for about 2 years.
Okay,
I think we actually had him on trial before he went to Ipswich.
Okay.
So it goes back quite a while. West Ham's interested in him. So you'd like to think that I've been keeping an eye out of him for quite a while now. So, and I'd say Moyes is right. He's probably been looking at that boy for a while. It might be just a happy coincidence that Warburton's daughter works for the same agency as he's connected to. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know. It might have been, because remember we sort of hijacked Crystal Palace. In a cynical world, you say she might have given West Ham the nod of what Palace offered and everything else. So we could go in and beat them.
Exactly. Yeah.
Who knows?
So this could work out as a positive for you guys then if she's worked at an agency and if they've got decent players. Yeah. This could be a positive for West Ham.
It could be. It could be a good thing. We'll wait and see on that.
Good evening, Chef Tube.
Evening, Chef Tube.
Yeah, good.
Bocker, gutted when Bowen knocked us back at 20 million.
Well,
what did we pay for him?
Forget. It was about 24, wasn't it? Something like that?
Yeah, not much past 20.
Moyes' word, I believe he will make a massive splash in the Premier League.
Good. Let's hope Moyes plays him then and uses his squad or substitutes this season.
Did you? I must say, when I got up this morning, right? Now you guys could probably click buttons and tell me whether this rumour's true, but someone put in the chat that I'm in there, I just looked at a thing there, and it was all these tweets from these Celtic fans saying goodbye to one of their players, and that he's going to West Ham.
I've not heard anything, but I'm not really.
Turnbull.
What's his name?
Turnbull.
That Ross Turnbull.
I think his name was Turnbull. Dave Turnbull or something like that.
I know Ross.
Not
is it Ross
nothing?
Turnbull? Ross Turnbull, I know.
Could be that.
But I've not heard of any links.
This was all Celtic fans saying goodbye to him. Thanks for he scored a goal in a pre-season or something, and that's the last goal for Celtic. And good luck to him going to West Ham.
Wow.
I don't know what that means, mate. If you can see any updates or anything, I don't know.
1 minute ago, just Sky Sports have said Chelsea agree a fee of 47.5 mil with City for Raheem Sterling. So he's going Chelsea for about 47.5, which for them is good business. They spent 50 mil on him, I think, from Liverpool.
Yeah, great business.
He's been a great servant to them, and they've basically got their money back. So that's how you do.
You know what I thought as soon as you said that, Tish?
Yeah.
I was thinking, fantasy football, Sterling at Chelsea.
Yeah.
I went like a little James Bond villain with a cat going,
He's there, and I think he'll do well there. I think he'll do well at Chelsea as well. I really do.
I think we could, yeah. Interesting.
What about Jesus at Arsenal? While we're on topic with other teams, like, what do you think about Jesus moving to Arsenal? I mean, he's already scored 2, hasn't he?
I think he'll be brilliant there.
I think he'll do all right, mate. Look,
I do.
I really do. As much as I hate Man City being owned by an old state, they do some good business. And like you just said there, Titch, they've sold Jesus to Arsenal and Sterling, and they've basically got their money back on the players, big money, and they've had all the use they needed out of them.
Exactly.
And now they're moving on. Now they're moving on to more. Bringing in Haaland for 50 mil, You think, well, how good is this business they're doing? It's really smart, really clever.
I was thinking about that point actually today, and when I was thinking about the top clubs and how they make signings, I think it all comes down to because they're the top clubs and they're like the big wigs. It's easier for them to get players kind of cheaper because the players want to go to them. Because I was thinking of like Diaz, Diaz who signed for Liverpool and he went for 38 million. I guarantee you, if that was West Ham or Leeds trying to sign Diaz, because he doesn't really want to come to us, would have to probably pay 60, 65 for Diaz. But it's purely because they have the money, which is also, but I was just thinking it's also the fact where they are in the league. So I guarantee you these players would never gone to Man City 20 years ago.
That's right. That's right, Russell. It's all about being attractive, isn't it, to a player? Champions League football. This is why Ronaldo is walking out. He wants to walk out of Man United because his love is Champions League football. It's not. I don't think he gives a shit which fucking club he's at anymore. He just wants to play Champions League. You've got to make yourself attractive.
Do we see Ronaldo ending up at Chelsea then?
He would go there in a heartbeat. He would have no qualms of going there. So I don't know. I don't know whether he will. I do believe that Rafinha, I think, ultimately will go Chelsea because he was ready to go Arsenal. Barca showed that interest once again, but he's destined, I believe, for Chelsea. And the reason why is because he's telling everybody his heart's set on Barca. But if that don't materialize, because of Champions League football and because of the stature of the club, he will go to Chelsea. Yeah. So what Russell was saying is, Rafinha's in a position to choose that. But these Diaz's and all them, when West Ham or maybe even Arsenal want you, they can charge you more money because the player don't really want to come to that. Yeah.
I mean, with the Rafinha one, Stu, because we're kind of flip-flopping between obviously Leeds, West Ham news and everyone else. If he does go to Chelsea, you don't want to go to Chelsea and be in the Premiership. I get that. I mean, personally, it doesn't bother me too much because Chelsea are a different stratosphere to Leeds. We're in the same. We're in the same league, but we're not in the same league. If you know what I'm saying. So I just got to the point with Rafinha. I just want whoever's actually going to stump up the most money and just give it to me, give us in a big lump. Yeah. That's all I'm really bothered about now. I've got to that because it's just dragging on. It's just, we need positions strengthening. But it's like I said earlier, he wants to go to Barcelona clearly, so that's frustrating.
But there will be a lot of players out there who have a preferred club, but don't always get the preferred club, so they have to go somewhere else anyway, don't they?
A lot of players.
Well, there you go. This is where maybe player power sometimes they've got too much. If he digs his heels in and saying, "Well, I want Barca or nothing," then you don't sell him, and then you've got a problem.
But not really. You know what? The reason why I don't think they've got a problem, Cieran, is Rafinha got 2 years left on his deal.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So Jesus went to Arsenal with 1 year left, and we spoke about this yesterday, me and Stuart. He went there for 50 mil with only a year to go. If Rafinha goes to the World Cup and does well, Leeds could either get 60 million for him in January, or in theory, they could still get 50 million for him next season because he's still. You understand? If Jesus can go for 50 with 1 year left, so can Rafinha. So Leeds, I believe, hold the cards, and they should have a cut-off point. If no one don't sign him, they should say you're staying here. Do you understand? It shouldn't be, the last day of the window, which will be 4 weeks into the season. They should give him a date. If no one signs you in that time, you're staying here. He can't afford to down tools because of the World Cup. So Leeds hold all the cards with Rafinha.
Yeah, they do. But he could be a sulking player. Whether, if he wants to get in the World Cup, he can't afford to be that, can he?
Nope.
And he will shine. I mean, look, if he's that, bollocks to Barcelona, but if he was that set on Barcelona, he could sign a 3-year deal with Chelsea, and 3 years or 4 years time, he could go there then. He's still young enough.
He's young.
He has got a strange obsession with Barcelona. Well, not a strange obsession, but he's you don't usually get players being so focused on one club like that. But typical Leeds, we have to end up with that player.
Look, you knew as soon as that greedy bastard Messi left, you knew they were in trouble for money.
Yeah.
Rafinha's ambition is to walk out at the Spotify Camp Nou.
What if I get the real name that in it?
I don't think Harmony's liking the Rafinha talk, Stuart, and Allison's. I'm kind of reading the comments. Allison's got a big thing for Memphis Depay, which is quite interesting.
I like him. I do like the
Yeah, I don't really know what is he a
Yeah.
forward. He's like a forward or a number 10. Is he?
He's a
bit older. He's like 30 though, isn't he? He's 30s now. He's a bit older. So.
I don't know how old he is.
Yeah, I think he's 30 something. So.
But he's, oh yeah.
I think he's roughly around there.
Trev Tube says that he's still hoping that we get Lewis Potter. You get Lewis Potter.
Yeah, I wrote that down actually because I'm writing things as people comment, like little key points, and I was thinking about Lewis Potter when he said that, and I thought, oh, he could be like another Bowen, couldn't he? You know,
I thought he's got. Yeah. I thought Brentford are looking now in. I heard West Ham was in pole position, and then Brentford.
Brentford, I reckon he's going there, but because of Flynn was going to Palace, and we hijacked that people are presuming we just might hijack this one. Don't know. Whether we definitely going to Brentford or not now, but like I said, he's meant to be an up and coming star. We'll see.
According to Ahmed, he's one of his own. I think that means that player, doesn't he?
Yeah, Flynn, Downs,
that's it, Downs. Everyone's saying hello to each other, and Lewis says, "Are you going to get a striker?" Killing me.
I don't know if he means we or you.
I think he means. Because he's desperate for West Ham to sign a striker. Is Lewis? Is Lawrence, isn't he?
West Ham need at least one striker, and I'm not sure, Lawrence. I would imagine we have to, but with Moyes, I just don't know. We need to. Though.
To the West Ham fans and you, Tish, because the other gentleman's just left. Do you know which? Literally, as he made that comment, it's something pinged into my head. Do you know which players made me laugh who had that West Ham connection? And it probably makes you chuckle as a West Ham fan. Is Haller? What he's done now.
Right, it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't.
He was awful at West Ham, weren't he?
Right. He looked sometimes disinterested. He looked like he wasn't willing to put in a shift. And under Moyes, that's not an option. But, I made a video once we'd sold him saying, he's going to go to Ajax. And I think I said at the time, don't be surprised if he scores 15 to 20 goals in the time that he's there for the rest of that season. And I think he ended up scoring close to that. So it doesn't surprise me. Do
you think he's good enough to be Haaland's replacement though? Because as soon as I sort of went, he's replacing Haaland. Really?
It just depends on when you put him in an Ajax team, he's going to be able to do what he does best, which is anything in and around the 18-yard box. He couldn't do that at West Ham because Moyes wants someone, running from this wing to that wing, and that's not Haller. So in Germany, he could potentially be a suitable replacement for Haller at Dortmund. They're completely different players, but he could be a very good replacement.
It just surprised me how he kind of how it's, and what Stu said earlier about some players, they should be good wherever they go, but it is strange. You do get some players, and you never know with a signing. You really never do know how they're going to turn out, because you get some players who do really well at one club, and then they'll go somewhere else, and it's just they can't do it. It's fascinating. I mean, I think that's why we're fascinated with transfers, and you get these teams that pick up these players. It's like, why didn't we sign him? That's what makes it fascinating with transfers, is because even the things that you think are a shoe-in don't work out sometimes, and then you get someone, you'll get a team pick up a player from like Lincoln City or something, and they'll end up being. It's like, how did it work out there? It's fascinating. That's why we love it, really. So, but a Haller, I remember again going back to our mate with the West Ham thing. He used to bang on about Haller, going, "Oh, I can't stand him," and then he's gone on to Ajax, done really well. Now he's at Dortmund. So, unbelievable kind of progression. So,
yeah. Look, the trouble is with poor old Haller, and I'm a big fan of him. But before he came to West Ham, he was playing in the front three, and he was doing great. And then Pellegrini brings him in, and then Pellegrini gets sacked, and Moyes comes in, and he didn't want to play to his strengths. He just didn't suit. He just didn't suit Moyes. And like I say, I'm a big Haller fan, and I knew he'd be good in a team that played to his strengths, like Ajax. Ten Hag played to his strengths. He made him the focal point of Ajax, and he smashed it in the Champions League and in the Dutch League. And now he's got another move. Now Ten Hag has left. Funny enough, so does Alea. So if you play to his strengths, you'll get goals from him. He's nowhere near as good as Haaland. He'll never replace him. That boy is an absolute beast. But he's still a good striker for you, and he'll score goals if you play him in the right system. West Ham never did. And I agreed to get rid of him because I know Moyes didn't want him. It was quite obvious. Yeah, so.
How you doing, Lee?
G'day, Lee.
Good.
Hello, Lee. How you doing? You okay? Nice to meet you, Lee.
Yeah.
I just want to say, Lee, I've also jotted this down on my kind of pre-notes. This is how green I am. I've got notes. You can tell I'm green. And I noticed you've got a secret lab chair. They're like the best of the best. I always noticed that about you when I used to watch your videos. Secret Lab's like the king of the gamer chairs, isn't it?
Is that what yours is, Lee?
It was mine. Honestly,
yours.
my chair.
Stole it.
It's next to white chair.
Stu.
You know,
Stu's a big gamer.
Yeah.
Stu's a big gamer, mate. He's a Grand Theft Auto.
I don't sit in it. I don't sit in the thing because, like today, you know, when I were before Lee come down, I thought, shall I sit in that seat? And I thought, no, because Lee's going to come down and it'll mean me having to get back in my wheelchair. And I've never sat in that bloody thing.
Even though it's yours.
Honest, I've never sat in it. Even at 2 o'clock in the morning, they'll just walk into the bedroom and say, "Hiya, Dad," and just sit down with me. You know what I mean? It just doesn't. It's got no body clock.
Yeah.
It's got no body clock. Listen. I am hearing that Firpo was injured and missed the Leeds United Australia. That is correct, Michael. He hasn't gone on, and apparently there's a list going about, Russell, with the players who have gone on his plane around. Just Joe said something about it today on one of his videos, and he hadn't made the list on the list of players who were going.
Yeah, I think it was Bate, Firpo's injured, Dallas Alien, obviously Kiko's not going. I don't think Costa was on it as well. I mean, the Bate's the weird one. When I saw the Bate one, I was a bit confused with, but typical, innit? We got one left back, and he got. What was strange though, he didn't seem injured in that game. I mean, you watched the whole game, didn't you, Stuart and Lee?
Yes, he was fine.
Did he have any knocks, or was he limping, or anything like that? Or?
No, nothing.
So, I mean, we were highlighting that anyway, saying we needed a left back, but maybe this little injury and not being able to take him is not a bad thing, because they were saying, no, we don't want to sign a left back, supposedly. So this happening to him, maybe it's kind of like not such a bad thing, because it's going to highlight we do need a left back, because this could happen at any point. So maybe it's good in a weird way.
Leeds, man, they'd have to be flying out tomorrow, wouldn't they, Stu? Leeds?
Yeah, I think they're flying. Yeah, I think it's either tonight or tomorrow morning, isn't it? It's one of them. But yeah, they're setting off. It should be a good tournament. It should be a really good tournament. I think the Brisbane one will be more like an exhibition game, but the Crystal Palace and the Aston Villa, I think that's where you're going to see how real competition, and I really do.
Yeah, personally, I don't know about you guys now. You are West Ham and pre-season. I mean, I like I said in the comments before, I really do take the pre-season with a pinch of salt, personally, because I'm more bothered that people just don't get injured. I just don't want any injuries in pre-season. To me, it's just kind of like, I don't look too much into the results, even though there is no argument last season for Leeds that obviously a lot of people were saying we're not good in pre-season, and it did kind of filter into the actual league. But in general, I don't think there's much you can look into it personally.
No,
I just see it as kind of getting your fitness up and understanding what the coach wants from you. So, yeah.
Stuart, I think you're miles behind you in the comments. Miles.
If you want championship news, check out Benjamin Bloom. He has a vid on the Downs lad.
Benjamin Bloom.
Yeah,
He's
might
good
actually-
actually. Yeah, I follow Benjamin Bloom. He was good when I used to. Leeds were in the Championship. I always used to watch his stuff.
Yeah, I think I've seen that vid, to be honest.
Yeah, he's a nice guy actually. He seems very, very grounded, very down to earth.
He does. He does.
Yeah.
Agree, Geezer? Does Lawrence agrees with you, Cieran?
From what you said
Done.
45 minutes ago, Kieran.
Maybe down to his Rice's replacement.
Nah.
No, not at all. It could be in the future. Yeah, in the future it might be.
Trev Tube, Lawrence Watkins, Boca or Embolo would be ideal. Hope it happens. Broga.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do, Stu. I'm going to mute myself so you can run through these comments. I'm going to stop talking for about 5 minutes. Okay.
Go on,
Don't
Stu.
you worry about it, Lawrence. Russell, you can talk as much as you want. Downs was first choice, Rice was second, and Roger was third for passes.
Yeah.
Wow. Lawrence Watkins says yes, Trev Tube. Need to close the deal. Boca says yeah. You lot happy with your president and plans for the stadium changes?
What are the? I heard that maybe the name change, but I don't know anything else.
No.
Providing the name was it was the proper name change in regards to. I think they should keep London in there. Then I'd have no issue with that. If it's going to make it more West Ham and take away from initially it was the Olympic Stadium.
It's like I said, we had this conversation before, and about the. I mean, it depends whether you want to earn money out of it. If you want to call, morning, son. I think Titch wants to talk to you later. If you want to earn money, like call it the Red Bull London Stadium, then you're going to earn money out of it. If you just want to name it the London Stadium or the East London Stadium, you're getting nothing for it. So obviously Barcelona have given in. I mean, there's a team, Barcelona, that didn't even have advertising on their shirt for years,
exactly,
forever, because they didn't need it with the money they were getting. And they had children in need or something like that, didn't they? Or UNICEF.
Yeah.
UNICEF on there. But that's changed. And now the stadium, now they've been so frivolous and what they've spent over the years. Now it's biting them in the arse. And now they're trying to get money from wherever source they can. That's what happens.
Titch has the knowledge, according to Brother Lawrence.
I don't know about that.
They owe him 40 million in the next 2 months.
Who's that?
I'm assuming that he's talking about, well, if this were 20 past 10, we were talking roughly
Frankie
about...
do you think Frankie de Jong?
Frankie de Jong, I think.
Damn.
That's crazy, that, isn't it? All because Barca don't pay their taxes. Well said, Hammerhead. They owe 700 million to the taxman. This is separate to their debt.
Separate to their debt.
How are they allowed to do this? It's a disgrace.
Exactly.
Disgrace.
All right, here you go. Alison says, we should go for Memphis to pay at Barcelona. It's a striker and tell them 40 million for Rafinha and him. It's a baller.
That would be a good deal.
Yeah.
It would.
Look, it's the reason they are in so much trouble. You can never outsmart the taxman. Yeah. Well, no, coming to posting. I'm posting.
He's winding you up.
We need a left back. Get Charlie Taylor. I won't be opposed to Charlie Taylor. Masaraku for 5 million.
Yeah, Massa, you'd love him. You'd love him, shoot.
I've watched him. Teach Masaraku for a tenner. Larry, they'll get to it.
Hammerhead knows.
I love that idea, Alison. For Charlie Taylor, I do know. I have got a long way to go, and I'm sorry. Sorry, Hammerhead. This is Spain. They owed 700 million for 8 years. They are the last ones to get paid. Wow. Hammerhead slow today. Lawrence, Larry, it's all good day. I have a lot to talk about. Yeah. Thank you, Hammerhead.
Big up, Robert.
Robert, when do we want Harrison? When do when do we want him now? He's always said that to me as Robert. He wants Jack Harrison. All Lingard is doing is dangling a carrot and wasting our time and stopping us from signing other players.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm ahead. And then he says, I heard Lingard wants £1 million a week. Lingard is choking us.
Cooking us. I don't know.
Chucking us.
Fingers are
welcome from Ireland. Leeds, USA. Here he goes, look. Welcome to Red Bull Leeds, according to BigMallys. Thank you, Alison and Marty Adams. That's right, Cieran. How long before we come under the Red Bull's umbrella? So we're already there. Moyes' son used to work for him as well.
Oh, yeah. That's what, yeah.
Barcelona spent in excess of 300 million on Courtois, Griezmann and Dembele. None of those players have lived up to the hype. Messi had to go because of his high wage to reduce the club debt.
Yeah.
Geezer didn't get kicked out of Auburn, Alabama, lives in the Kentucky Beard Mall.
Yeah, that's what you say. That's what you say, mate.
Lawrence is like Lingard. He's like, show me the money.
Lawrence, just Alice and Neil, laugh out loud. Leeds are interested in Broja, apparently.
Russell, would you like Broja?
Yeah, sorry, I was just muting myself while I went for the comment. Yeah, I would love Broja. Physical, big, fast. I think he could press well. That'll be a thumbs up. So that means it won't happen.
Yeah.
Robert, he's a good player, is Broja. Yep. Where's Thumbnail? And where's Turnbull play?
I'm sure he plays in the middle, Hammerhead. And I'm sure he came from like Motherwell to Celtic, I think. Obviously at Celtic he would have played Champions League and all of that. So I wouldn't turn my nose up. I don't know a lot about him, but I know, his name, and I'm sure he's a centre midfielder. Ross Turnbull.
Right.
Alison says Lawrence know where his idol while they're talking. I laugh out loud as per usual. You can talk as much as you want, guys. Leeds and West Ham, these strikers have proven goal scorers. Leeds have to be careful with Bamford. He may have to be nursed along due to his injuries last season. West Ham needed backup striker like Leeds.
You know, with your Bamford, he's starting to remind me of Andy Carroll. I think he's a good player who scores goals, but you'll never have him on the pitch long enough. And I think you really do have to think ahead of him. I don't think he's going to be the answer for you.
You don't think he's going to get the goals and stuff? We can't rely on him for the 20 goals.
He just looks like one of them players that's going to be injured for half the season. So he's not going to get it. He's just not going to have enough game time.
I'll tell you, it did surprise me how much he was injured last year, because they seem to be these weird... With Bielsa, I don't know about you, Stu, or maybe from the outside, but I always found it frustrating. We used to really pick up these weird injuries which no one knew about. It's like even the manager and the physios going, yeah, we've never really had these injuries before. But we seem to have quite a skill at picking up injuries of players that seem to be out for ages on them. So it depends if we're playing 4-2-3-1 with Bamford, because I wouldn't feel comfortable Gerhardt leading the line all the time. So we definitely need someone in, but I can't figure out whether we're going to go 2 up top or 1. That's what I'm trying to figure out right now.
You see, well, that game I watched yesterday, and someone asked me what formation we played in. It was weird because we were definitely free at the back, and then it looked like there were. I couldn't make up my mind if it were like a row of 5. Free. I don't know if it were 3-4-3, 3-5-2. Or, you know what I mean? I just couldn't make up my mind of how we were playing. Yeah.
It'll probably become clear on the Australia tour, Stu. You after about a couple more games, you'll probably start to kind of look through the fog right now, and he'll start to clear, and we'll probably get a bit more of a clearer picture of what he's thinking. Unless he adopts game to game, which is a possibility, because I was looking at our roster, as if to say, the roster. And we've got a hell of a lot of wingers. still. You know, you've got Harrison, James, Somerville, this new Colombian guy. I was going to say Rafinha, but obviously he's not staying. So that's 4 wingers. Oh, James. I say James. Yeah, that's 4 wingers. So the more I think about it, the more I'm thinking we're going to adopt between 4-2-2-2 and 4-2-3-1. I think that's what's going to happen because we've just got too many wingers. You know, we signed a winger. In my eyes, that Colombian guy's a winger. That's as good as he's meant to be. And again, I don't get too caught up in the hype train because you never really know how they're going to end up. I give players a good 3 or 4 months to figure out, right, that, they're going to do it or not. But he is a winger traditionally. So I think that signing threw me off what we were going to do. So.
Just quickly, that Turnbull, Cieran, his name's David Turnbull. He's 22. He's a Scottish international. And doing my maths, he probably made his debut for Motherwell at the age of 16. So he spent 4 seasons at Motherwell, 2 at Celtic. He's only 22, plays midfield, and he plays for Scotland as well. So, you know, if we are linked with him, then once again, he's young. He's got the experience.
And there's nothing coming out in the latest news about it.
I haven't seen his name, but...
No, strange. Yeah, strange. I got that with all these tweets from Celtic fans saying goodbye to him. I just thought it was odd. I thought something might have happened overnight for me. I went, oh, there you go. We'll see.
Check out Memphis Depay from Barca. He's a baller. Yeah, I mean, didn't he play? He played for Man United, didn't he?
Yeah.
No, he's a good player.
He's a really good player.
Good player.
He just didn't suit at Man United, neither did he?
Nah.
Who does?
Yeah.
He's
28. He's 28.
Can I have a bedtime story instead of more of the Rafinha nonsense? Of course you can. Of course you can, Amani.
Yeah, I'll give you a story. Masuaku's going to Leeds, and Leeds fans are delighted.
She wants to have sweet dreams, not bloody nightmares.
Depay's 28, you lot, so he's still.
Oh, he's 28, is he?
28. Yeah, I've just checked that. Yeah, he's 28. So
okay, that's a good age. Okay.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Very good.
Right. I want to ask you two something about Moyes. What is Moyes MOT? What's all that about? I keep hearing stuff on some YouTube channels. The Moyes MOT.
Cieran might know. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's meant to be how he judges players. It isn't just about their ability. It's about their work rate. It's about their attitude and everything else. It's one of them. He wants the player that fits and into his criteria. It does, and I sort of agree with that for managers, and I think it's a good philosophy to have because, like, you look at Lukaku going. Lukaku's a great striker for me. He really is. He goes to Chelsea last year. Absolutely, it's been a disaster for him. And Moyes probably wouldn't sign Lukaku. He'd sign a player that a lot of people think, no, he won't fit. But he fits Moyes' MOT. He works hard for the team. He's got a good temperament. He's got a good attitude. All them things, which you'd expect from every player. But a lot of them don't have that. So that's meant to be his MOT.
Well, fun facts about Lukaku. You know, Chelsea spent 100 million on him, didn't they? And he's gone back to Milan. They've lost about 10 million on him. Do you know what shirt number Lukaku is playing with next season at Milan? 90.
99. Oh, 90.
No, 90. He's playing with shirt number 90.
Is he?
Do you want to know a weird fact about Inter Milan while we're speaking about him? You got me thinking of my younger years when I used to watch Gazzetta Football Italia on Channel 4. That's an old one. That's a great one.
Yourself, Russell.
I always wondered why Inter Milan had a St. George's cross on some of their kits. And they were founded by English. I don't know if you knew that. They were actually founded by English, that club.
No,
I found that fascinating when I heard about that. I was like, oh,
yeah, I think I've seen a history program about that. There's something to do with some English people working out there that started the club.
Yeah, it was the St. George's Cross Kieran. I was watching them and I was like, why have they got St. George's Cross as Kieran? And I was like, founded by English, which is, I thought it was quite interesting. Because I think you see that the AC Milan crest as well. If you notice theirs, they've got a St. George's Cross on some of theirs as well. So I don't know if if it's both clubs or not. So
Yeah, I've noticed that even with the crowd, some of the banners they have that, you know, the St George's Cross and everything. I always thought that why, but I remember seeing a history program about, and I'm not sure if it was English workers out there or something started a
yeah, I
football
think
team,
it was.
grassroots, and it just grew from that.
I
Something
love
like
weird things like that. I find that fascinating.
No, it
Stuff
is.
like
that.
that. Yeah, history is fascinating to me now. When I was younger, if you had me at secondary school, I couldn't give a wallets. But now I'm getting older and boring. I love. I'm all over history things now. I love history. So
I've always said every day is a learning day.
it is, yeah.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah, the trouble is when you get old, Stu, you learn something new every day and you forget it the next day.
I was just thinking the same thing though when you said that. I thought you were saying that. It's funny because I keep looking at Titch on the screen, and it's funny watching Stu with the comments.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Titch, and he's got like a, you know, when you got like a barometer bar, and it's like an energy bar. This is how I'm pitching it. Right, it was going down, but because we get talking, his bar goes back up.
Yeah.
I
He's
can
sussed
see the
me
energy
out
bar
already.
kind of going up and down.
It's Cieran knows. Yeah, he sussed me right out.
Yeah,
Mate,
so his energy is about the middle right
you
now.
better
It's about the middle.
give him control of that bloody comment
No.
button.
I haven't got control. I'm not signed in. I'm just.
He had it last time. And
Yeah, last time I had it.
Bang, 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 bang,
Emani, are you anywhere nice? You see, everyone's talking to each other. That's what we like to see. Russell, I'll put Russell's message up as well, just to put Titch's red bar going up a little bit more.
Yeah, it's like an energy. You know when you used to play Street Fighter and you'd see the bar go down?
Yeah.
That's what I'm pitching it right now with Titch.
No, I'm good. I know Stuart, and that's why we love Stuart. Stuart is Stuart, and I'm me. And unfortunately, my me is I'm still very much Mr. OCD. He knows that though.
I do. The pie is class, Russell. She's in. Yeah, she went to Bramall Lane. Did Emani?
She was playing what, to watch a game?
Yeah, I mean it's speed. I think no. It was women's football, wasn't it? Women's World Cup Euros.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about. No one cares about that, Russ. Rubbish.
I don't watch it.
Should be at home doing the ironing. That's what you should be doing, Harmony. Get the ironing in.
My ironing. I don't know what she did.
Rafa said Deco has been the cause of the problem. In January, he made a verbal agreement with Barcelona that Rafa will be going to Barcelona, and he has been the one influencing the Rafa getting into. He said, "I agree with that." But according to a report, what Mallys sent me, even Deco said that Deco and Rafinha have both given Barcelona a cut-off point. You know what I mean? They need this sorting out for them. Obviously, Rafa for football and Deco for his agency fee.
Exactly. That's why I said he will ultimately end up at Chelsea. If it's not Barcelona, it will be Chelsea.
Emani says no hotel room isn't. It's not nice in Sheffield. Only been to a Sheffield United and Wednesday ground. From what I've read, Rafa has been top notch. It's Deco who's the plonker. Eto is also getting done for tax evasion. Well, stop Barca, and it looks like he's getting jail time as well.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
The pie has a bad attitude. Has he got a bad?
Yeah.
I've heard that he's a bad boy, but not. I don't know about his attitude, but he's one of those. He's not a. He's got something about him, he's got character about him. And I don't know if they want to, change that into a bad. I don't know, but I know he's a character basically.
That's a coach though, isn't it, to manage him?
Because he raps as well. He actually makes decent music. So he does other stuff.
Is it as good as the Anfield rap?
The Anfield rap. What is that?
Yeah, you've never heard of the
Oh, not John
the
Barnes.
late 80s.
Oh God, you
got
got
like John
hold
Barnes
it
and,
up
Ian
until
Russell
you
do
get
the
to the line. Yeah, he's much better than that. He's
Oh,
actually
better than that,
he makes some good music actually.
Oh, fair.
Sorry, mate. Yes, I went to Bramall Lane to watch the Swedish ladies.
What's the score?
You said that, didn't you? Depay flopped as a Man United player. I think a lot of players at Man United. It's a bit like Leeds United at Russell, isn't it? You know, sometimes that white jersey is just too heavy for the player.
Yeah, I think it was in the League One and Championship days. Some players clearly couldn't cope with it, but I think that the obviously the more you go up the pyramid, the players get more used to the kind of players we should be signing now. Shouldn't really have the weight of a jersey on them because they're quite how can you put it? They get used to a certain standard, like anything. If you see what I'm saying. So I suspect from that, I would expect the players we get now should be able to cope with the pressure of playing for Leeds quite easily. But in the League One and Championship days, definitely, yeah.
Brazilian players use the Spanish league to play for Brazil. The players know that they will not be in the spotlight unless they play for Madrid or Barcelona. That is from the manager. Rafinha's made it into side, hasn't it? Jesus has made it. Well, is it Rafinha? Is it Jesus who's struggling to get into Brazil's side lately?
I don't know. Firmino plays for them. They've got,
Alisson.
They'll have Brazilian bass players as well that play for them. I just think between Real and Barca, they've always historically had Brazilian internationals playing for them. And I think that's the law for people like Rafinha.
Hammerhead, you don't want someone with attitude. Barca can keep him. Alison says, Amani, what was the score? Depay is a bluff. He played 5 good games against poor teams, got found out against the bigger teams. Alison, he was terrible at United, threw his toys out of his pram big time, and then she says, Amani says, Depay is more miserable than Richarlison. Well, I struggle to believe that because I think Richarlison is the most miserable player in Premier League.
Can't be any more miserable. Richarlison's got to take number 1, surely.
Do you know what? In Depay's, let me try and put perspective on this. Him and Wijnaldum came from PSV as the 2 best players in the Dutch league. I think he scored the most goals in that season, and overall, Wijnaldum was the best player. He went Man United, didn't work out. He went to Lyon, tore up trees, and then got a move to Barca. And through all of Barca's struggles on and off the pitch, he still actually had a decent career at Barca. So I think at 28, and whether his motivation would be, some might see it as, let's say, for instance, West Ham or Leeds. I don't think he'd see that as a downward step because he went from Man United to Lyon. You understand? But then he earned himself a move to Barca. So I think Depay would be a fantastic signing. And I just think Man United, it just didn't work out. And every other club apart from them, you start Coutinho at Barca. He actually had a decent stats, and I'm talking about when he did play and through all of what, and he wasn't getting played, he was getting overlooked, but when he was actually in the team, he done well. And I remember speaking to Cieran when Cieran done his one from each team, and I said to him, I feel that Coutinho will come back and he will hit the ground running, and he did actually do that in the first sort of 8 games for Villa. So sometimes it's the circumstances at the club as to why the player doesn't perform. And I think, if West Ham had a genuine interest in Depay, I would be excited, but not too much because, all these rumors don't come to nothing. But I'm saying if we signed Depay, I'll be over the moon.
Yeah. You got me thinking about when Coutinho went to Barcelona, and you've just made me a little bit more angry. Not your fault, Titch, but what's made me a little bit more angry is, and I don't know about you, Stu, but Why couldn't we have got the Barcelona who were throwing that money around 4 or 5 years ago? Why did we have to have the skint Barcelona trying this installments with freaking Rafinha? Because they were just throwing. Didn't they spend like 100 plus on Dembele and then Coutinho and then Griezmann? I was just like, what the hell are they doing?
Do you think that that club needs to be looked at? Do you know what I mean? And what's gone wrong?
Oh, for sure. Should have been looked at years and years ago. Them and Real Madrid. Their spending was absolutely ridiculous, and all they were trying to do is keep up with Premier League clubs where they couldn't. The money's not there, and it's not only that. If you look at the Premier League, for all its faults, the money does get sort of divided up. Where in Spain, apparently they take the lion's share, don't they? Real Madrid and Barcelona, they've been taking it all away, nearly all the money from the TV rights and everything. And the smaller clubs get small money, so they can't compete. They can never compete with them.
It's a real shame, though, Cieran, because I don't know about you, but I used to look at Barcelona about 10 years ago, and the way they did things with their youth system, they seem to be quite well run, didn't they? Really, so it's a real shame.
Yeah, they did, but they still overspent, didn't they? I mean, they've got a fan base of 90, 100,000 every week, haven't they?
Yeah.
And yet they can get in this much debt. It's frightening. It shouldn't be allowed. I mean, it should not be allowed. But everyone seems to get away with it in Spain and Italy. I think it's the system itself is all set up for them. Because if you took Barcelona, see that Super League come about, you take Barcelona in that Spanish league, I think it would die. It would completely collapse.
Mm. Yeah, let's not go into that. Well, that Super League thing, that made me really
let's not go there, mate. That's a landmine. Ooh.
They still seem to be trying it, a few of them, don't they? Juventus and that. They're still hanging on to it, you know. So.
Well, it could happen. See, I still think if you took 4 clubs out of the Premier League, the 4 big ones, we'd still have a good league. Yeah. It actually might be more entertaining.
More competitive.
It might not have big names come to it, but it might be a more entertaining league.
Well, I don't know what you guys were thinking, because I know West Ham had a good season when that was all kicking off, and I don't know Stu or people in the comments, West Ham and Leeds fans, obviously. But when I heard that, and then there was rumours going around that they might take out those clubs from the Premiership. That was the season leagues were like 9th, and I started calculating. Oh, would we get European football? And Germany's I started straight out.
Exactly. We were doing the same, Russell.
Seriously, if that Super League, if that was you go and do your thing, we do ours, I'd have no problem with that. It's because, Russell, you mentioned before, like 20 years ago, these players wouldn't be going to Man City. No. So, like most things, people move at a time. So, yeah, we got used to the Chelseas, your Arsenals, and your Man United. But once they was gone, remember the Division 1 used to be 24 teams. Then, a whole new concept Premier League. So things change. So if they want to go and do that, I would have no issue, because like Cieran said, I just think then it becomes more of a level playing field, more entertaining, more competitive. So I would have no issue. If they was going to go and not come back, I'd wave them off. So
I'll tell you what, though, the money would diminish, I think, in the Premiership, though, and the leagues, if they went with the big clubs, if they left, I think the money would go low.
That's the downside of it, because we wouldn't have that TV money that they're all getting now. So
some people see it as a good thing, Cieran. Some people say that's a good thing, that the money's not so much money.
You're right, Russell. I mean, if you look at it, the biggest thing, regardless of who owns who, the biggest thing that's killing football at the moment is players' wages. It's gone ridiculous, right? It's killing clubs, right? And they're putting themselves in a position to keep up with everyone, paying these ridiculous amounts of money week in, week out to players.
You think there should be
a player to be getting £1 million a month in wages is of absolute disgrace. It should not ever have happened. So that's what, if that could change, it would be a good thing for football, because where does it stop? Where does it stop?
It's like it's like the .com bubble, when that burst. To me, in my head, I'm thinking, could we have this big burst of the bubble, and it could just cause havoc, because it feels like the bubble's getting bigger and bigger. Maybe one day someone's just going to go, and it's just going to go.
Yeah. It looks like it's on the road to disaster if you keep going this way. It's crazy.
And Barcelona's a prime example of that.
I think COVID was the thing that whacked Barcelona really badly, weren't it? A lot of the teams weren't. Leeds were quite lucky because when COVID hit, we were trying to get into the Premiership. Our spending was we were quite lucky in the sense of how it all timed. But you had some clubs who pre-COVID could overspend and they could cover it with the ground being full and blah blah blah. But when they had to start playing in empty grounds and when it restarted, I think some clubs really got caught out of it, and I think Barcelona really got their pants pulled down on that, didn't they? Big time.
Well, in Championship, it was Derby's turn, wasn't it? Derby got caught out.
Yeah.
Amani says that the Sweden game finished 1-1. Mally says, "Hey up, Lee." Amani says he can stay at Barcelona then. Depay also thinks he's a rapper. That's what you just said in it, Titch.
Yeah.
He thinks he's a rapper. Lee, I'm miles behind, Sorry, guys. Haller is a very different player to Haaland. However, if others do the running for him, he will ban the goals in.
Yeah.
Exactly, Trev. Exactly.
Haller played in the Bundesliga originally, then when he bought him from Frankfurt. Him and Jovic had a combined of 32 goals.
There you go.
Jovic just left Madrid for free. Big disappointment.
Yeah, he was.
Haller is not a Premier League striker, according to Lawrence.
In the right team, he is. Yeah, in the right team. Moyes ain't the right team for him, but I think he is. But we're going away. The trouble is, Premier League are going away from that big striker, aren't they? In most teams, they're not using a big striker anymore. It's really weird, and it's going to be interesting to see how Haaland fits in with Man City. But I'm sure he will, and I'm sure he'll score goals.
Before I go through comments, Amani reckons, to prove that I do listen to Amani, she reckons that Haller might struggle in his first season at Man City.
Haaland.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. You think he's going to be running?
I can't see it. I think he will fit in seamlessly. He was born and raised in England. He's an international footballer. The chances that City create, the way they play, it could happen, but I can't see him not being an instant success at Man City.
Yeah, I was going to. I exactly what Tish said. I think Man City they've got too much. They create too much not to do it. But what I was going to say about Haaland, what made me chuckle in some of his when he signed, he's going about I love Man City. We all know really he is a Leeds fan. We know that. It's like, mate, we know you're a Leeds fan, but you got to do the PR stuff.
Yeah.
Chuckle.
The only difference it might be for him is Man City are going to come up against a lot of teams in the Premier League that are going to have 9 and 10 men behind the ball. And
they're used to it, aren't they? They're just used to that. Everyone does that against Man City.
Exactly. And that might be the only difference for Haaland, to find space. But I've been watching him for about 3 years, and I can see him scoring goals whatever team you put him in. I reckon you could stick him in a Brentford side, and he'll score bloody 15 to 20 goals a season. He's a cracking player, mate. He's an absolute beast.
But one thing you don't do, Cieran, is you don't put your 11 players behind the ball like Leeds did and get beat 7-0.
Yeah.
That's the way you don't do it.
Doesn't always work.
Actually, we tried to take them on. We had Fortune versus Roger, and was like, well, we were fine. We can come out of this all right. And it's like, oh no.
Haller don't stay at one club for long. That's what Ahmed said. Alexandra Isak would only cost about £30 million, but it won't happen, sadly.
I like him. He's a good striker.
Swedish player, isn't he?
Yeah. He's good.
Sweden.
Lawrence saying hi to him, he hopes she's well. Michael Brown saying hi to you, Lee. That's it. Come on within. You'll not see anything like the mighty Flynn.
I know that song.
Oh, we've got a song already from Robert.
Whose song is that? I've heard that song. I know that song. Whose song is that, Kieran?
God.
They were on an Only Fools and Horses video once upon a time.
Come on with it. You ain't saying nothing like the mighty Flynn. Yeah, who sings that song? I know the song.
Oh.
That's it's a ready-made song.
West Ham have already used that, haven't they? When we had Quinn. Quinn the keeper. Quinn. Yeah. Keeper or.
Update from Fabrizio, the Italian stallion, I call him. Dembele has now signed a 2-year deal, and Rafa's offer is only verbal.
Yeah, he's going Chelsea, 100%.
You're really sold on that, aren't you, Titch? I've been intrigued because you've really banged that.
Yeah, and now, do you know what it is, Russell? I know the circumstance. Dembele, they wanted him to sign a new contract because he was out of contract now and take much less wages. He wasn't, open to that. And then they basically said to him, you're going to sit in the stands and rock. Xavi came in, played him, and then he found his form. He got back to being a world-class forward player.
Oh, he's a forward, is he?
Yeah, and he plays on the right. He's left-footed, plays on the right. So, he could have easily walked away from Barca for free. He's only like 23 or 24. He's found his form again. So the fact that they've tied him down and he plays on the right-hand side, they've got Ansu Fati who's come through. They've still got Depay. So I now believe that if that's correct, then they're not going to go for Dembele, Rafinha, because...
Who knows? Maybe Rafinha will be on the plane to Australia soon. Maybe we might get 6 months out of him. Maybe.
They ain't. Yeah, I can't see it. I think now they're going to switch their attention to possibly Lewandowski. Now that Dembele is committed to them.
Okay, so you think that slot's filled? So they're going right side's fine now. We'll just look at a forward.
I believe so. Yeah, because of the fee as well that they clearly can't afford. And I know they want Lewandowski, and Bayern have said, give us the money we're asking, which is 50 or 2, or just shut up, basically. So, they're not letting them drag out anything. They're saying, if you ain't got the money, don't say nothing to us.
It'll be interesting. I'm really intrigued now because I did pick up on your Chelsea one a lot. You were really, I could tell you were really thinking he's Chelsea bound.
Yeah,
so,
I believe
okay,
so.
It'll be interesting to see how it pans out.
I am bothered as soon as we get the money in for him, so we, like Russell says earlier on, we can buy players.
Stu, would you be upset if he stayed? I mean, I wouldn't personally with what we've signed. I mean, would he be one of the two up front? Maybe you could have maybe Rafinha. I don't know. I mean, if Rafinha stayed, I don't think it would be a bad thing. If
Rafinha says to Leeds United right now, right, I've been, I want to stay with you for 1 more year. I'd be happy with it as long as it's somewhat what he wants to do.
I mean, because him staying another year and helping to stay in the league, the amount we accrue from having the 4th year in the league is worth him staying for another year, even if we do get a little bit less for him.
Yeah.
With 1 year left, I still think we'll get good money from just being in the league again. And one thing I refuse to believe is that I don't think everyone's going, we haven't got the money until we sell Rafinha, but aren't we bidding for this? Even though it doesn't look like he wants to come to us, that the Catalair guy, we're bidding for him. So surely we have got money to spend. Otherwise, we wouldn't be bidding for him while we've still got Rafinha.
Yeah.
So I can't. The sums don't make up. I expect us, even if Rafinha stays, to still go out and buy other players because we're still bidding for this Belgian guy with Rafinha, unless there's an agreement that they know Rafinha is leaving and they're already kind of spending that money knowing. In behind the scenes that money's coming in. Obviously, we're speculating. We don't really know anything, do we? So we're just going off what we're thinking, speculation. So it might be signed, sealed, and delivered, like that song. Who's that? Who sang that? It was signed, sealed, and delivered. Who is that? It's the guy.
Kieran, come on. Who's singing?
It's the blind guy, isn't it? Who is it?
No, Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder, that was him. Yeah, Size Hill.
Yeah. I know. When you were rocking, I thought, it's Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder, yeah, that was it, the older, yeah.
I went to see him once.
Where?
Stevie Wonder. He didn't see me, but I did go to see him
Yeah,
in Brisbane. I did. He and it was strange. He was on the piano for a bit too, and he was on a revolving stage.
Yeah.
You know, so wherever you were sitting in there, he was in the middle, and everyone's around. Wherever you were, you got to see a lot of him because he was on this revolving stage. And when he got off the piano, his brother would come onto the stage and guide him to wherever he stood up and sang.
Yeah,
there you go.
Well, it's good because everyone gets to see him, don't it? Because you can't get up and do like an NSYNC dance routine or anything, can he? So it's good that you can move around and you can see like that. Yeah,
it's good.
Lawrence Watkins says thumbs up. Bocker says, where are West Ham pre-season?
Well, we're in Switzerland at the moment, and they come back to England.
Is it just Switzerland? Yeah.
Yeah, that game they played yesterday was in Geneva.
Yeah.
And but then they came back. They played Reading, I think, and ended up playing Rangers. They got a game against Rangers pre-season. Their last one, I think.
Newcastle up into Land Harrison. I don't know how I feel about that. I thought Harrison looked sharp against Blackpool yesterday. All I wish Harrison would do is lift his head a bit more.
Are Leeds fans not too keen on Harrison now, Stu? Or?
Well, I am. I like Harrison. I think he's got something about him. You know what I mean?
I find his consistency with Harrison. From the outside, you probably look at Harrison and go, 8 goals, so many assists. But when you're actually watching the player constantly, like we are, obviously, because we're following Leeds, I do find he is quite inconsistent, which can be frustrating with Harrison. He is a good player, and he does have these moments. Sadly, sorry guys, like against you guys when he got that hat trick. But I do find he can be quite frustrating to watch sometimes. Like I say, you need to get his head up and make that final decision and stuff like that. But then he comes out with some, these wonder goals, and we obviously have a soft spot for him because he got the goal against Brentford and all that. So, but I find him quite inconsistent. Personally.
So, would you be happy to let him go then, Russell?
Well, if Newcastle came in and bidded 25-30 million, yeah, because I think we've got enough wingers probably to cover it, and let's be honest, I think with our with us scouting good players to then sell on, 2-3 years down the line, I think we could cover Harrison quite easily, personally. So don't get me wrong, he's a hard worker and he has some good moments, but I do think over a season he can be inconsistent. Personally, but that's my thing. But I think we could, if we could get good money for him, I think anyone's sellable, aren't they? Really? So
yeah.
Pre-season is all about conditioning, not the score, and staying healthy.
Yeah,
I agree with that, Lawrence. Russell says, being more miserable than Richarlison is quite a feat of mine. Yeah, it is. It is. We have no confidence.
No.
Oh, sorry, we have Conference League qualifiers next week.
Are they next week? Wow.
Everything's coming quick now.
I didn't think we was that soon.
Well, I might have to pop out. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
you. We do not need a left back. We have enough cover. The double pivot does not require that, hence why Firpo scored and got an assist. The DM moves back into the centre back, and the left centre back moves across to the left back.
I think we do need one personally. Definitely, I think we do need a left back. I think we need cover, as proven with Firpo. But I think I can see what she's saying, but to me, the obvious answer is we do lack depth in the left back position for me personally. Another CM as well. I think even though we've got Rocker and who's the other guy?
Christensen.
No, it's Adams. Sorry, Adams. We signed so many people, I'm forgetting. But I was going to ask you about this to you, Stu and Lee, and to the Leeds fans and Tish, if you want to, because I know you.
Yeah, of course.
I'm trying to figure out with Harrison. Even though I've just said that about another need of the CM, does Harrison cover the CM position? Would he be? I'm trying to figure out could he drop into that position, because I'm trying to figure out what Harrison is. Is he attacking midfielder or is he a midfielder? Because if we've got all these wingers, is he going to be behind the forward? I'm a bit confused where I'm figuring where Harrison might go now. He could probably be that covering midfielder if we needed, someone got injured in the midfield. So I don't know what you guys think of that.
Stu?
Yeah, he could cover, couldn't he? He could definitely cover. He could definitely cover in midfield.
I think he had been a midfielder previously, so
I don't know. Yeah, these new players at Leeds, I don't know anything about any of them. Even some of them, I've never even heard of them before. So
no.
Yeah, well, I'll be honest with you. I didn't. I admit when I don't know a player, that, and unless you see, like Adams, we knew about Adams because he was linked for a while and he played for USA. But what anything else about him, I couldn't tell you. But I think Harrison, I don't know what to do with Harrison. It's a bit like Dan James. I don't know what to do with Dan James.
Or Rodrigo. I'm trying to think. Cause I don't know about what you're doing, Stu and Lee. I'm mentally, when we sign the players, I'm in my head, I'm already kind of putting them in positions where I think it's going to happen.
Where you think they're going to go?
Yeah, and James and Rodrigo are starting to become like red flags to me. I'm thinking, where do they fit in my puzzle? Which I'm thinking, and I can't see where they fit apart from the bench. I'm thinking,
and that sounds awful, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's true. I mean, someone's going to be not in. We're going to have. Well, it's good because we'll have a good subs bench. But whether they'll be happy being on the subs bench, I don't know. But James and Rodrigo, I can't figure out where they're going to be with what we're getting. So
it's got until we see what formation is going to play.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be very difficult to see who goes where until we know what Marsh wants to do with them. Because, like you says, he might start James and Rodrigo on bench.
Yeah, be interesting. Well, the good news is either way we cut it, we're going to have a stronger bench this year,
which is needed, especially this new rule as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to kill me in my fantasy football because after 60 minutes you get more points. So people get pulled off left, right, and centre before 60 minutes. So just sign the players who are consistently playing 90 minutes. That's what we do.
Yeah, and what's the rule? The rule on that, you can only do it 3 times, can't you? These changes.
Yeah, 3 times.
Yeah. And unless you change one at half time, I'm not sure if that counts. I think you can do that.
Is there still the concussion subs as well? That's still involved there somewhere as well.
I would imagine so.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm glad they've brought that in.
That has to stay.
Yeah.
De Jong. £20 million for $20 million for De Jong signing plus another $20 million in wages.
Oh, so they still owe Ajax.
Wow.
Damn.
Connor were on about Connor, who's a Leeds United fan channel. He says that he's frightened that if we did sign to Barcelona, I know it's not going to happen now, but if Rafinha did sign, Barcelona did sign Rafinha, he was frightened that we might not have ever got his money in for him anyway.
Exactly.
That's why I prefer the Chelsea bid personally, because you're going to get the money up front, and it's not going to be on all these stupid instalments. So I'm hoping Tish is right on that personally. So.
Yeah. In my head, because everyone who plays in Spain is avoiding tax. Even Ronaldo did it.
I think Messi did too, didn't
Yeah,
Unless you get caught.
He went to court for tax evasion.
Yeah.
They all
Yeah,
seem to do that in Spain, don't they? In Spain, they all seem to
Yeah.
do that.
Can somebody explain chucking?
Cucking, I've never heard of it.
Okay, no.
I think his thing it might be just big thumbs. He might trying to say something else.
That's what I was thinking. Is that a rude thing?
Bucket, I think it's used. I think I used the wrong word, to be honest. Not for me. First sacking of the new season will be what it manages.
That's a good question. Who would be the first new sacking?
I've got my favourite. I've already had this question, and I've jumped straight at it. For me, Frank Lampard. Frank Lampard, first sacking of the season.
It's got Parker.
Okay, Frank Lampard is a good shout.
Who's Fulham's managers? It's not Scott Parker, is it?
No,
it's the guy who used to manage Watford.
Yeah.
What's his name?
And Everton, Marco Silva.
Silva, that's right. Yeah.
I think he'll be first one to be sacked.
I'm gonna go with. It's probably not, but I'm gonna go with Brendan Rodgers because if last season I think they underachieved
massively.
Yeah, so
yeah,
I think Lampard is. Yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna just so it's a different name. I'm gonna go with Rodgers is my dark horse to be sacked first.
Lot of love for you, showing Russell. A comment for you from Lawrence.
Oh, where's that?
I like this Russell guy. Good knowledge and respectful.
Oh, thank you.
We always have respectful people on
He's all right, Lawrence. He's all right, Lawrence. Come on, don't go overboard.
Yeah, don't inflate the ego too much. It's because I'm new and shiny. If I'm on more, you'll go, oh, he's doing my head in now.
Yeah.
This is just it's the honeymoon period. It's always the honeymoon period at the start.
Yeah, no, but you keep reminding Stu about the comments. See, that's what you're getting it moving. That's what it is.
We love to sign every position but a striker.
Look, here's the deal with a striker. Moyes don't sign strikers; he creates them. So that's where we're going. If Brozier doesn't come into West Ham, we might not get a striker. We might just get another attacking midfielder. That could happen. I hope it isn't. I hope Brozier does come because I wouldn't mind that boy. I think he suits the Moyes MOT, if you like. He'd suit it, I reckon. But we'll see. But it wouldn't surprise me if we didn't sign a striker.
Kieran, Tish, and to the other people, West Ham fans in the comments. This is related to Leeds, actually. Sonny Perkins. What can you tell us about Sonny Perkins? Because we know he's left you guys and Leeds are heavily linked with him. Supposedly he might be Leeds bound. Apart from hating him right now, maybe, but is he good?
It's a double-edged sword with Perkins, right? If you believe the story that he asked for a load of money and West Ham said no, and he went, well, I'm leaving then, fuck him. He can go. But if you believe the other side of that sword and say, look, he couldn't see a way through to the first team and he wanted game time, and that's why he left, because he might get a more opportunity. Well, good luck to him.
What kind of player is he? Is he a target man? Is he fast? Is he good?
He was an attacking midfielder. Another one was a midfielder that got turned into a striker in the under-23s and done all right. Now, what I've seen of him when we played him, I don't rate him myself. Same. I think he's okay. He's got a long way to go. A long way to go. Now, he has been linked to Leeds for whatever reason. And good luck to him. If he does, he's nowhere near ready. Nowhere near ready. But he just might come good and he might not. He's one of them. Nearly every player that's walked away from West Ham from our under-23s haven't done well. He could be the exception, but we'll see.
You've got a good under-23s because I know I watch a few of the under-20. Well, keep an eye on the under-23s with Leeds and West Ham. Weren't you like in the top 4 or something? You got a good team, haven't you? Good youngsters.
I think did we finish second? I think.
I think you was up there, definitely.
He
up
was
there,
definitely up there, yeah.
Yeah. So you know, the good thing with West Ham and Leeds is one thing we do have in common is I always remember the Lampard, Cole, Defoe, Third. You guys, I don't think for some reason you probably get highlighted as much because a lot of say with Leeds of our youngsters, but when you do look at West Ham, you do produce players, don't you? You do produce youngsters. You got quite a good history of doing that.
We've got a history of it, but I think things have changed since you have got under 23s. Because I don't rate that competition at all. I think it was better when the system was set up. You had a reserve team, and in that reserve team, when you only had 2 on the bench. I know I'm going back a bit, but you only had 2 substitutions. So a lot of them players played for the under 23s because they couldn't get a game. And you had a mix of first team players in the under 23s and in the reserves and youngsters. And I thought it was a better competition for it. You also had injured players coming back who'd play for the reserves and then make their way back into the first team to give them game time. And it was a harder, tough, and that was all over the division. So all players like that. I've seen Bobby Moore in the reserves, back in the day. You'd see Bobby Charlton, coming back from an injury, playing Man United reserves, things like that. This under 23 competition, if you looked at it, if you put the Premier League at number 10 and the Championship at say 7, I think the under 23s is about 4. So unless you're an exception like Rooney, it's very hard to break through because the standard is so much higher. It really is. And I think people look at under 23 teams, they're doing well and think they're automatically going to walk into the first team. They're not. A long way to go. And you've got an exception like Rice, because Rice was a good player. Even if you look at Harry Kane, look what they've done to Harry Kane. They loaned him out. I don't know how many clubs he went on loan for. Before, I think it's Tim Sherwood gave him his opportunity at Tottenham, but he played for Orient, Millwall. He had about 4 different loan spells before.
Yeah, he was at Leicester and Norwich, I think, as well.
Leicester.
Norwich. Yeah, do you imagine that then, Russell? That's 4 teams I can think of. They went on loan to before. These guys playing the under 23s have one good season and expect to walk into the first team. It doesn't happen, mate. You need the experience of that.
I think there's a bit of that with Leeds for our youngsters. I think it's like, they should be playing these youngsters. I'm thinking, I not the volume we have been playing them. I think you need to drip feed them through. But I do actually agree because I've been thinking that a few times. Particularly, it's like I think it's like you got Cody John going, we should play, and I'm thinking, I don't think youngsters can walk straight into the first team yet. So I agree with what you're saying actually, because I've been thinking out with a few of our youngsters, thinking
you will get the exception. That Gelhardt looked all right for you. A couple of games I'll see him. I don't know if he's rated or not. He's done all right. Yeah. And like I say, Rice, and we've had Johnson coming at right back. He's done pretty good. And you will get them. But if Moyes isn't playing our youngsters, there's a reason. Now you can just say Moyes just doesn't play youngsters if you want to, make it simplified. But I think there's more to it than that. He just doesn't think they're good enough already. As simple as that.
Yeah.
Well, it's a big step up from playing youth football to man's football. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
You're not fully developed at that age. Your bones aren't fully developed at that age, and I think it would be very. I think if Moyes put in all these players from youth, you would get people saying, "Oh, he's played too many of them." Do you know what I mean? You're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no, you know what I mean? Unless you see them training every day, like Moyes does, and like Jesse Marsh does with Leeds. Unless you're seeing them train every day, we can't really say if they're going to make it. You know what I'm trying to say. We aren't there and make a call on are they good enough to go straight into the first team. Whereas these managers are. It's what they've been doing for years.
Yeah, exactly. And their coaches from the under 23s, I mean, they're relaying everything to say Moyes and his staff. And if they don't think they're ready, they're not ready. It's as simple as that. You've got to trust them, their experience and their abilities.
Yes.
and not just those that you see them for 5 minutes. They might get like Perkins got a run out in one of the games. It might have been a European game, can't remember. He came on a sub. He got a header on target. Now, if he had scored that header, it might have been different, but he didn't. And the next thing, everybody wants him in the first team. Why? That's all you've seen of him, and you think he's going to be a first team player. No, there's a lot more to it than that. And but Titch would know more than me now, because he actually coaches players. He knows what the difference is going up through the divisions and age groups.
Yeah.
Pretty hard. It's very rare to see a Rooney.
I think some of our fans were a bit like, there was a thing where it's like we're proud to have broke so many youngsters through last season. To me, it wasn't a good thing. It really showed our the problems we had. There's no way we should have made so many debuts for so many youngsters and had benches full of youngsters. I can see what people are saying in the sense, it's good they're getting starts, but I'm like, guys, this is the Premiership. This shouldn't be happening. So the good thing with us, we learned a big lesson last year. A big lesson.
Yeah, because your heart tells you there's nothing better than any local homegrown player getting a go. We love it. We love it. But the reality is, this is the Premier League.
Yeah, I mean, if you can drip through one or two a season, I think that's what you should be doing. 1 or 2 a season. Yeah. You should be debuting 8, 9 players and having 7, 16-year-olds on the bench or whatever, 16 to 18-year-olds. That's just highlighting our problem for us guys personally. So
Archie Gray was our youngest player on bench, wasn't he? Was he 15 at the time when he was on bench? Yes. I mean, a 15-year-old being on bench in a Premiership side, it's not good. It ain't a good look for club.
No. But I can see why people say it's a good thing because they're getting a chance. But if we're being honest, it's not really. It shouldn't be like that, should it? It shouldn't really be.
No.
So I'll mute myself again while you going through your comment. I can see Tish's energy bar going up. So I'm going to mute myself.
Thanks, Lawrence. You are a West Ham fan or a Leeds fan? He's a West Ham fan, Lawrence. Larry Moyes. I'm ahead. To Larry. Moyes didn't sign strikers because he likes converting players who he's only signed a handful of strikers in his own management career. West Ham all day long. That's what he's answering back to Russell. True, I'm ahead and not a fan of that. Fair enough, Lawrence. If Russell's already answered these questions for me, bless him. Brilliant. West Ham are getting ready to make a new bid for Lille's. Right.
Amadou.
I won't murder his name.
Amadou Onana.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah, I knew it was something like that.
Kieran, do you know anything about? I know that they value him at 50. No. We bid 20, but that's it. Do you know anything about this?
That's about it. Titch. He's a big lad, apparently. Apparently, he's quite good. But we made a bid and they turned it down. That's all I know. So.
Me too, Larry. One of the flaws, I must admit. West Ham United boss David Moyes is really interested in Southampton tallies when James Ward-Prowse and is eager to tempt him into the London Stadium.
Don't believe that, Big Mal. Don't believe that, mate. We brought in Errol Flynn. We've got Errol Flynn now. We don't need Ward-Prowse.
Yeah.
Wouldn't pay the money anyway. No. Wouldn't pay the money for him. They wanted 70 million. You've got to be kidding me.
No chance.
Adorable T equals match.
MOT. David Moyes, MOT.
I'm ahead. You have a lot of knowledge, respect, mate. Yeah. I thought James Ward-Prowse saga was over at BigMallys. Thanks, Larry. Always enjoy a good constructive debate about stubborn old Moyes. Stu, great show, brother. All the respect to you and Lee. Thank you, Lawrence. But I can't do it without these guests. You know, everyone knows that. Titch, I miss you, and I guess he too. Antonio is not a striker, laugh out loud.
He is a striker because he wears number 9. You've not seen that?
Stuart.
So is
Number
our
9
stretch.
on each year.
Man United now rumoured to have Rafinha interest,
Oh,
according to Ted Gurren.
Hey!
So Man United are now rumoured to have Rafinha interest.
That's
Oh, I hope
interesting.
that. I just want it sorted.
well,
Have a look. And what do we think, guys, of Ten Hag? Do you think he could do something there? I like him as a manager.
yeah.
He's taken on a tough job, isn't he?
I'll be honest with you, I don't think he can do any worse, can he? So I think you're going into a job like that, and he can only get better. Sadly for Man United, obviously being a Leeds fan, but yeah. So I think he'll do well there. Sadly, I can't see how he can't.
It's got to be backed by the board, though, Russell. You know what I mean? The board have got to back him. 100%.
Oh, they will there. I mean, as much as we hate to say it, they are commercially, I think they're the biggest club in the world, aren't they, Man United? So,
They are.
so they're always going to have money to burn just because of what Ferguson built there. You know, as much as it hurts you to say it, you can't deny it. So, you know,
I think he'll do a good job. I think it's a great signing by Man United. It's, you know, especially if they actually give him time to implement what he wants to do. But I do believe that in the back of his mind, or maybe at the front, he's going to target the Europa League, knowing that that's a fast track back into the Champions League. Because
yeah, that's good.
Then,
yeah, that's good.
to do it through the league, it's still going to be it's not going to be easy.
No.
But Europa
I think they're going to win that.
What's that?
I think they win the Europa League. I really
They
do.
must. That should be a target of theirs, is to win that, because then, you know, it kind of accelerates his plan at the club. So yeah, I reckon Man United are going to be strong in the Europa League this season because of Ten Hag.
That's going to pay me to watch. Honest.
Who knows, Stu? We might actually get a result against them soon. You know what I'm saying?
It'd be nice if we did, wouldn't it?
It's coming. I think it's coming. I think with Man U and that, because we always look forward to that result. We always get panned by them, don't we? I think it'd be interesting. I think we're going to. I could see us maybe not next. If not next year, I think we're slowly starting to bleed quality in the sense of we're signings. I think we could. We'll get Man United one day soon. It'll happen.
Just going to take Russell, is it going to take time for our players to gel?
Yeah. I mean, next season, I've got in my head, realistically, 12th to 16th. I want a nice, boring Brighton, Southampton season. You know, I just want it nice and dull. And then I think next year, if we stay in the league, you then drip out you phase out the next section of the championship winning squad. You know, it's horrible to say we've got an attachment to him, but we need to be ruthless. Yeah. So I think you know we're going to have to progress like that until we get a country sponsoring us or a sugar daddy. I think that's the only way we can kind of do it. So, you know,
I agree. I do agree.
Yeah.
Moyes is now the oldest manager in the Premier League.
Damn.
Indeed.
I didn't know.
Or he's the one with the most experience. You could look at it that way.
Speaking from an elderly gentleman on the panel. I was surprised to hear that Deco is employed by Barcelona.
I was employed by them.
Surely that's a conflict of interest, isn't it? Sure.
Exactly.
Sure.
Yeah, but Barcelona seem to be getting away with a hell of a lot of things, don't they? I didn't know that. I know he was his agent. I didn't know we were employed by him.
Who knows?
I'm ahead. What age is he? So what age is Moyes now then? Everybody 63?
Yeah, it'd be about that. I'd say, Stu, it'd be about 63, I'd say.
That's probably why he's so set in his ways.
Yeah.
Jail time in Spain doesn't exist. Messi got 21 months jail time for the same as Eto'o. In jail, 2 years jail, and the first offence means that you do not go to jail. Wow. Hermione says, Alison, do you know I really don't care anymore? I just want him gone.
Yeah, you get like that, Harmony. You do get like that when the players are acting up and want this and want that. Or, I want to go to Barca or what. And you just get fed up with it. You just rather they sold them and left and just have the drama over it so you can move on.
Exactly.
Is that what you do? Is right? This Lingard situation, Kieran. What would you do about it? Would you? I mean, it's gone out to Australia. It's gone out to America now. I need to look at some more MLS clubs.
So supposedly, even that was conflicted rumours. Apparently, he's gone on there on holiday, but people were saying, "Oh, he's going to look at MLS clubs." It's hard to believe anything you read. So, but what I would say is, if he really wanted to be at West Ham, I'm sure he would have said something about it by now. I'm keen to come to West Ham. I hope we can agree a deal, something on them lines, just to show intention. And he hasn't. And so that tells me West Ham just put a deadline on it. Like, let us know by next week. Come or you don't. And if he says no, then move on. Or I'd rather someone signed him, anyone. I don't care. If he's signed somewhere, then we can forget about it and move on. But if Moyes is still so keen on it, I just thought you would have heard something from Lingard by now, that he was keen to come. And he hadn't. All the rumours about him going to MLS, it might not be true, and it could be unfair on him. He might be looking at his best deals that he can get. I think if he wants a lifestyle and what he wants to carry on doing, America is a good move for him. But what it is you're giving up on the rest of your career. You move to China or you move to America, that's huge. You got one foot in retirement, basically, haven't you? And you're going there for the lifestyle and the money. That's what it says to me.
One thing quickly on Lingard. First thing is, he's one of those players where he fitted you like a glove. Really shocked me how well he did it when he went to you, and how well he did because I equate all the players in my fantasy football, and I remember Lingard was a guy to sign in fantasy football because he just kicked off at West Ham. So I'd be surprised if he didn't end up with you, because to me that's a weird kind of fit. It's some reason it just worked. But the second question would be, if Lingard came in, would you think anyone would go out? Do you think he would be? No,
straight in.
Do you don't think they'd move someone out if he came in? Then he would just add to your team.
No, because he's trying to build a squad, isn't he, and a bench. So there's no reason why we couldn't have Lingard and not lose anyone. Okay. To me, we could unload Benrahma if Moyes doesn't want him, but you don't need to. It's not one in, one out. His wages will be high. We know that. If he's demanding ridiculous money, then you say no. But because there's no signing on fee, they will be higher than they should be.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to say that Benrahma thing. I was like, yes.
I'd get rid of Benrahma myself because I can see it doesn't really work, and it doesn't work for Moyes. So, good player, but not the right team for him. I'd get rid of him.
I'm sure Russell will be there waiting for him to come out of the ground. They'll carry his bags to train station to platform to come into Leeds.
Him and Jack Rothwell.
Jack Rothwell, where's he now?
He's supposedly signed for Bournemouth, but I checked the fantasy league and he's not on it yet. But the reason he's an odd one because he's a free transfer in the centre midfield, and I still watch a bit of the Championship and take my advice. Rothwell for a free transfer, he's a great little midfield. He is good. He's such an underrated player. He's one of those little hidden gems, and he'd have been great on the bench and covered the midfield spot. Fantastic player. Really, really underrated. But I knew we wouldn't go for him, but I was throwing his name out there. But I love him. From what I've seen him, he's fantastic.
I think you're right. I'm just fed up with the whole thing. It needs gone as soon as possible. BigMallys says, there's no logic, but Rasmus reminds me of Pontus. I think he'll be a fan favourite at Leeds, Rasmus. Alison, not sure, but he's the oldest. Ahmed says he's only 59. I thought he was in his 60s.
Because Roy Hodgson's gone, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Barca average 48,000 a game. So that's the attendance in it.
I thought that they get like, remember their stadium's like 92, 93,000.
Yeah, it's a stadium, isn't it?
And normally, yeah, from what
I'm sure many years ago, I actually visited the new camp when I was over there on holiday once, and I think they had about 90,000 bloody season ticket holders.
Yeah, that's surprising.
The good thing is all our 6 new signings want to be at Leeds and seem very grounded, no massive egos. And then Bockus says, unless Frankfurt turn up with 35,000.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like Europa League game, Europa League game, wasn't it? Yeah. Robert Sigler, according to sources, both Leeds and Newcastle want Dries Martins from Napoli on a free. He's 35-year-old.
Do you remember Harmony mentioned him as well? About 4 weeks ago.
I'd have him 5 years ago, not now.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, no, 35 anyway.
Newcastle as well.
Man, I've been impressed with their attitude. Love Rasmus and the fairness Tyler Adams really getting into the whole Yorkshire way of life. Yeah, because he tried saying hey up, but he spelled it wrong on one of his tweets or something, didn't he? Bless him. Manchester Evening News just reported that Rafinha been talking to Bruno Fernandes about scum, no joke. Robert, that rumour is about 2 months ago. Dead in the water now. Said, would not be surprised to see Scummy enter the race saga. They are desperate. I don't know if they are desperate for players. I know they're wanting players, but I'm assuming that Ten Hag will have a list of who he wants.
No doubt.
Alison, I've been wearing flat caps, walking whippets, and drinking big mugs of Yorkshire tea by the start of the season. Spotify paid 950 million over 12 years. That's 80 million a year. They've already got 55 million a year from the previous deal. Not that much money, really. Right, so it's been paid over a period, then, hasn't it?
That's a lot of money still. Yeah, just for naming rights. Wow.
Yeah.
It's a fucking billion.
What do you think to the London Stadium, Titch and Cieran? What do you think you've lost because the old West Ham ground used to be, it's quite iconic, weren't it, really? I mean, I know when Leeds fans were, they were kind of saying, because it's the first time we've obviously played you for ages at your new ground, and they were saying it was so far away from the ground, it didn't seem, like Upton Park when it was on you and all that sort of stuff. But what do you guys make out your own stadium? Because it's basically the old Olympic Stadium, isn't it? So
yeah, it's an athletic stadium, isn't it? It's not that I've been there. I'm stuck here in Brisbane, so I would have never wanted to move myself because I grew up in Upton Park and went there every week for many years, and I loved it. The stadium was that close and tight to it.
Yeah,
and it was a great atmosphere and all that. But we went into an athletic stadium. If the deal would have been done, for that stadium, that it was built to be converted into a proper football stadium, that would have been the go. Then I might have gone, yeah, it's a good idea. But it wasn't. And here in Australia, there's a lot of stadia here, really good stadia, but they're also multi-sport stadiums, which means you can be too far away from the pitch. And I've been in them, and it's not great. So I can see why I wouldn't like that Olympic Stadium. I wouldn't like it. I know I wouldn't. So there we go. If you can get closer to, when you're 20 metres away from the sideline to the dugout, which I think it is, about 21 metres, it's just too far away. And that's just the dugout.
Yeah, I
Never
saw a
mind where
few
you
things
are.
online of how far it was, and they were like, Jesus Christ, it was so. The good thing with Leeds is it is an aging stadium, and it is out of whack, but it is quite, but not grim, but it's kind of in your face. You're
No, it
close.
is.
The crowd are on you, and it can
I
go.
can tell you that,
It goes
Russell.
good or against you.
I've only been to Ellen Road once, and that was in 1980.
Oh wow!
And
Proper grim, then.
when we played Everton in a semi-final replay for the FA Cup, when we won the FA Cup, and it was the best night I've ever had in an away game ever. It was so brilliant. The atmosphere was
Even better
fantastic.
when you win, isn't it? Even better when you win.
Yeah, and you won. Yeah, that helps. That helps, mate. You win, especially in extra time. You win.
Oh, yeah.
So, but it was great. The atmosphere was brilliant. It was, and I loved it. I loved it there. So it was a proper football ground.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to be revamped. I think the plans for it are to kind of, when the 49ers do eventually take over, which is inevitable, I think it is going to
even then, Russell, that was before it all went all-seater as well, We were all standing.
Yeah, well, they're thinking of bringing standing back, aren't they? I don't know if you've seen those new standing things. They're quite good, actually. Where you got there's barriers and you can stand in between them. I think that'd be quite good.
Yeah, they've got that up in Scotland, haven't they? And Celtic have got it.
I always think of Dortmund.
They've had it for years.
Dortmund do it, so.
Are we expanding it to 55,000 first, Russell, still?
I think there's plans, isn't there? I mean, when it gets done, it's not going to be this season, but once the 49ers kind of take control, which it can't be too far off. I thought it might be this summer, but it looks probably it's going to be delayed. I think they're going to, expand, like you said, to 55, then maybe onwards. But you have to be in the Premiership because if Leeds got relegated, do you think there'll be that much demand? Honestly, you know what I'm saying?
No. I think for the first season after getting relegated, I think the expectations of getting promoted instantly would be there.
Yeah.
But I think that if seasons, because I genuinely feel if we went down, I don't think we would have come straight back up.
I think we would now.
I genuinely believe that, and I think the longer it went on, the less fans come. So what were we averaging before Bielsa come? 28,000 or something?
Yeah.
So it was a massive, like 10,000. I mean, remember if it was Chileno. Remember when one of the stands were actually closed? You know what I mean?
Yeah, the League One days. Yeah, I remember going to the League One games. They're empty halfway. So.
Yeah. Manfred Mighty Quinn. BigMallys says.
Manfred Man. Yeah, BigMallys.
Did you get your membership? Leeds United membership. Amani, love to see it. We have conferences next week. Well, Lawrence says Leeds home games will be played in Washington DC. Yeah. I'm surprised we haven't actually done a tour in the USA yet. Leeds looking at Dries Mertens. Mally, that was 2 months ago, dead in the water. He wants paying too much. Amani, Alison says, Amani, I'm getting it as a birthday present. This one's 23rd. What about you? Looking forward to new kit launch. You are, aren't you? Like, yeah. Forward to new kit launch. It got delayed by a month, didn't it? According to a report from Matteo, the Whites have started investigating the player's situation. Is that Dries Mertens? I'm assuming. Alison says, can't get tickets now on friends and family for the games. Trying to get tickets sorted for Wolves. Have got the flights booked. If you're interested in your history, watch a house through time. It's all about a house and people that have lived there. I'm assuming that's to you, Russell. A TV show called A House Through Time.
Wow.
Or a film, maybe.
Not a film, could be. I'm not renewing it this year. Didn't get one home game that I could attend. Unsure about buying any shirts. I bought all 3 last year. But if there's a yellow one, she'll buy yellow one, which is so she's not renewing this year a membership. In Leeds, I am miles behind. Sorry, guys, I am really miles behind as well. Paul says, "Oi, morning, guys."
How you doing, Paul?
Lawrence Watkins says, "Hi, it's Paul." Yeah, that's great, Alison. Amani, only getting it as a Presley laugh out loud. Plus, only way to borrow season tickets now. Yes, it's all on your phone now, isn't it, Russell? The season tickets and stuff.
Oh yeah,
On your app on your phone. Amani would love to get a yellow one. I'm sure the qualifiers are next week.
That's yeah. I didn't realise it was that soon. I thought it was later.
Amani says, Russell, we have Fairport, Davis, Helge, Strike, and even Cooper who can play at left back. Harrison and James could play there too. You just need to understand the double pivot. It's not rocket science.
can I respond?
You have to now. You have to now.
Well, I'll say Davis. He ain't good enough. Helder's a centre back. Struick's a centre back. Cooper's a centre back. Harrison's a winger. James is a right winger. So to me, I would say probably do need a cover of a left back. Personally, I think you got an argument for Helder and Struick, but let's be honest, they're centre backs.
So, is the Firpo your only recognised left back?
Yeah.
No, Davis is an official position for Davis is left back, but he couldn't even get in the Bournemouth team online. He played like 14 games. So, in theory, for me, it's backup keeper, left back, centre midfielder. Well, now I'm arguing in my head with Aronson, and a forward. So definitely 3, maybe 4. So I can see what she's saying, but Helder and Struick and Cooper, they're all centre backs. We don't want to fall into that trap of, shoehorning players into the wrong positions. You just need another left back. To me, it's that simple. But that's the beauty of the internet and democracy. Everyone's got a different opinion on it, haven't they? So,
but I mean, you two Leeds fans, you 3, in an ideal world, would your left back that came in be a starter and relegate Firpo to the backup, or do you just mean a backup to Firpo?
Depends on what left back we were bringing in.
Oh yeah, that's a good point, actually, Stuart. Yeah. I mean, the general thought of Firpo is he isn't very good.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and he's with the injuries as well, which is seems to be rearing its head again. So I think a lot of fans would probably like him to be replaced and he be the backup, shall we say? I mean, Charlie Taylor for me. I've heard that bandied around, and that's a perfect fit. Relegated Leeds fan. I think Charlie Taylor would be perfect to fit inside.
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, I don't normally like players coming back. I don't, but I think Charlie Taylor's professional enough to.
Well, I wouldn't have Alioski back, Stuart. I mean, a lot of fans are going Alioski, not for me personally. I think Charlie.
Remember, before I answer this, me and Lee crazy anyway. But we loved Alioski, not because of what he brought to, not because of his, we loved him because of his character.
Yeah.
I remember watching Jermaine Beckford. He was on that Leeds United. When they have that when they interview Leeds players, and they were interviewing Bamford. And Bamford said Alioski improves morale around training ground by about by about 30% or something.
Yeah.
So it's not just for, I don't mean for his quality, because I do think he wasn't a Premier League quality player, but for his morale, I loved him to pieces.
Yeah. I know what you say. You don't want machines, you want personalities. It's good to have a personality with a bunch of machines to kind of break the ice and make it more fun. If Valioski could be a really good player, and the personality, that would be perfect.
But he's not. He hasn't got that, and that's why I says, that's why I wouldn't be keen on Alioski coming back.
No, I mean Charlie Taylor, I think is good enough.
Yeah. He never put a foot wrong with Burnley. He always played. He didn't have hardly any injuries neither.
No, I think that'll be a perfect player to come back to us. So,
and it's the thing with Firpo, he keeps getting unnecessarily bookings and stuff like that. His discipline's not brilliant.
I hope Firpo proves me completely wrong. I really want him to do well, and I hope he has a good second season. But I don't know about you guys. I don't know if with West Ham as well. You get some players you like, I just never feel comfortable with him. You get that player, you're like, he always makes you nervous, and Firpo makes me nervous.
Yeah, we have.
Because it's like you with Charlie Cresswell, isn't it? I mean, do you feel confident in Charlie Cresswell again? By what I've been seeing, a lot of West Ham fans don't.
Oh, Aaron Cresswell.
Aaron Cresswell, sorry, that's who I meant. Aaron Cresswell. Him and all.
Cieran, would you try and upgrade Cresswell this season?
Yeah. I mean, he's at that age to upgrade him, but he's still got a lot to offer. He's still going to be part of that squad.
Yeah.
I think I want to keep him for at least 1-2 seasons, but we need to upgrade. We need to get a quicker left back as well. And Cresswell now is starting to feel the pinch there. So yeah, I'd love to add that Zinchenko from Man City if they were letting him go.
Ooh, that's
he would
good.
do.
Yeah, I don't lead to Bravio for him. Yeah, he's good.
But he seems. I know he wants to play midfield now because he does for his country, doesn't he? They seem to play him in the left midfield role. But I'd have him as a left back, and that would be great to have Cresswell on the bench too.
Yeah.
So,
can I ask Tish a question, because he reacted very interestingly when I said about a player that makes you nervous.
Yeah,
and he was laughing quite a lot. And who was you thinking, Tish? Because I could see.
Right. When you said basically generally the fan base have that play, Masuaku sprung to mind straight away.
Yeah. Okay.
When he's at left back, everybody gets nervous. So he's the one that springs to mind. When you say that people have, everyone generally a fan base will have certain players that they are worried about when they've got the ball.
Yeah.
That's the one that springs to mind for us.
I think he played when we beat you 3-2, and I straight away was like, he's crap. Target that guy. He's everywhere.
Yeah, left back. He's not. Yeah. So he's that guy. He's the Firpo.
Okay. I was intrigued because I saw your reaction. I was like, I've got to go back to Tish on that, because he's obviously
that's him.
The name went through his head, and I was like, what was the name? What's the name?
It's all that left side. You got Masuaku, then Ben Rama, and you go,
yeah.
Both of them make you nervous.
It's true, because with Ben Rama, the nerves are...
We're going to announce your stadium after Masuaku, the King Masuaku stand. That's what I heard it were going to be called.
King Arthur Stadium.
Yeah,
Better than Spotify.
Stadium.
Exactly. Better than Spotify. Gosh. Jeez. Stuart, it's 2.5 hours,
I know, I better go right through these. And if Harrison stays, he will be a left footer. I guess he would move over to the right wing with Lewis on the left. And Trips say night to Talon Paul. Talon Paul say night to Shrev. The draw is the 18th of July. Games played on 18th and 20th.
Yeah,
18th and 25th of August.
I thought it was later.
They are De Jong, not Ajax. All right, De Jong money, not Ajax money. Right.
He's signing on fee.
Listen, really, only members can use other season tickets. So it's only members who can use other season tickets. Can I hire a box though? Laugh out loud. It's means teasing.
Cucking. Teasing.
Teasing, that's what I meant. Yeah, that and all. Right, Southampton manager will be the first manager. I am behind that, Titch. Yeah,
possibility there. Okay. That's a possibility.
Ten Hag for me to be sacked, according to where my mate. I wishful thinking. Toss up Lamps or Ten Hag. Wow, even Robert Singleton saying the same. I heard Titch is getting sacked in the morning.
Nah, no chance.
Alison and Marty. Amani, yes, it's all digital now. Yeah, season tickets. Perkins is a Judas, according to Ahmed.
That's a bit more like it.
Ahmed, that would be a disaster for them. Ten Hag, another field manager at Man United. Lawrence Watkins says Sonny was a great talent. We will miss him. Moyes gave him no time. He was a striker.
It's because he was shit.
We will miss Sonny.
He said Geezer will miss Sonny.
Not at all. Well, there you go. You kept going on about him, Lawrence, about Sonny this, Sonny that. Where was his loyalty at the end? He just walked. Where was that? So that tells me if he hasn't got no loyalty to us, well, bye-bye. See you later. Have a good career.
True. I can't see him doing any better than the last few. Amani says, but how does it being digital stop anyone buying a ticket still, though? I don't understand. Surely anyone can buy them if they apply. 4 goals against Blackpool, none from a striker, might be Marsh's plan. That's what BigMallys says. And Hammerhead agreed with you, which is exactly right, Cieran.
That's an interesting theory for Big McNally.
Yeah, four goals against the Blackpool, none of them are from a striker, yeah.
But is Rodrigo a striker? Is he a striker? I don't know. We don't know really what Rodrigo is, do we?
I remember him signing, and everyone said he was Spanish number 9.
Yeah, but he's never had a good goal scoring record, has he? He's always been a bit.
No, as he. Tony Carr was the producer at West Ham.
Yeah,
brought loads of experienced players. I still think we have talent, but it gets tougher to break through. Alison says, Amani, yes, you can still buy tickets. I use a guy from here, season ticket. This will no longer be a plastic card. If I'm on his friends and family, member, it can be sent to me a digital match ticket. It's all going digital now, innit? Everything. It's all to save money on turnstiles and stuff, innit? Leeds looks like it. It will be some away games again then for me, Alison. Right. Now I get you, Alison. Thank you. Sadly, I don't have any friends. I don't believe that. I'm Amani. I'll be your friendly series. It'll be your friendly seriously. You though, if you want home game, let me know. Martin just sells his back for most home games. If you're a member, we can ask you. We can send you his ticket. It's actually better, right? Regarding Archie Gray, if he's good enough, he's old enough. Remember a certain James Milner and others too. Love Archie Gray, and he's going to be some player. I agree. I were impressed with him. I seriously have to consider this now. Makes sense. I was doing it in protest to last year. They did send me some freebies, and gave me some money back to decisions. And mine was a waste last season. Budget. Hello, Budget. Good evening, chatty people. Moyes is 59 according to Mally. Thank you, Mally. Budget, you just got up. Everyone said hi to Budget. Hi, Alison. I was no, just finished work. I was only teasing Budgie, and then Alison says, "Budgie, warm evening to be working." Hi guys, what do you think of the freestanding at grounds? I think it's a good thing.
Yeah,
the way it looks.
Thing. Yeah, I think it looks good actually. I don't know if you get more fans in doing that or not. I don't know if that makes a difference, but you know, as long as it's safe, that's the main thing, isn't it? So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What about you, Kieran? How do you feel about safe standing?
Yeah, I do. Like I say, Celtic have had it in place for quite a few years now. And it's that basically it's like a seat row. You've got barriers and barriers and barriers that everyone stands in between. You've got a barrier in front and one behind. That's how it works.
I think people prefer standing, don't they? I mean, you know,
yeah,
I know when I
always
at Leeds, everyone stands anyway, virtually. So,
yeah, the atmosphere is much better when you've got standing. But I'd say it'd be very limited with this standing. It'll only be a small section in most grounds.
Oh, do you think? Okay.
I don't think they'll take a whole end and make it standing. Maybe because even at Celtic, it's one little section right in the corner near the corner flag. I don't know if they'll make a whole end of it like that. I think it'll be in sections.
Okay.
We'll see.
And Robert says, brilliant idea. Have it in Sweden. Have done for years now. Robert, standing in safe areas is a good idea. I'm always in the cop stand a whole match. Better atmosphere credited.
It is, yeah.
Created. Robert Singleton, yeah, seems to improve the atmosphere. Yeah, so they're all in agreement. iTrevTube, Trevor agree. When I'm in the East Stand, it's not the same at Ellen Road. Alison driving an Uber. Budgie windows down and air conditioning on, laugh out loud. Music blaring out too. Wow. I tell him, Paul. I am miles behind Art Russell.
I'm not saying that. I'm just watching Titch. I'm just watching.
Where is he?
I don't know.
Where is he, man?
I'm not signed in.
And I'm 15 minutes behind now. It is that race music too. I'm more the 80s vibes. I give my passengers the choice of music on volume level. Wow. Everyone's saying hi to Budgie, and what Budgie's saying about hi to Russell. It's jumped. Sorry, guys. It's jumped. I'll go back as far back as I can go. Budgie probably had probably a bad idea. I'm sure they will pick out all sorts of out loud rave music. I used to hate rave music. Alison, are you on the Merseyside? Robert, no, I'm in Ireland. 20 minutes on a flight. Laugh out loud. Robert, where are you from? I think it's from London, isn't it, Robert? Oh, I see. Wondered why you stood on the cop in Leeds. I'm from East London, but now live in Liverpool. Robert, are you a hammer? He is. I can answer that. Russell, you need to listen.
Look, get back to your ironing harmony.
Yeah. The system will be using a double pivot. The left back becomes the winner, and the centre back becomes the left back. The left defensive midfield becomes the centre back. Then it resets. It confuses the hell out of the opponent.
Confuses the hell out of me.
Yeah, I'm going to say
I've been told. So there you go.
Get used to that.
Time with Russell. Don't worry about it. She does. She really does.
You're never going to please everyone, are you? It's impossible.
Remy Standing's called the cop. Oh yes. Lived 800 yards from the ground at the Brolin. Right.
Not far from me, Robert.
Yeah.
Not far from me.
Surely you know each other then.
No.
Or know of
It
each
could be a
other,
big
man.
age difference. Not sure how old Robert is, but yeah, I lived about 3-minute walk from Upton Park Station.
I'm sure Robert's like basically the same age as you. I think like very similar age.
We won't be using the old-fashioned left back. That's what Armani says. Don't know there were two. Right, don't know that there were two cops. Fairport is going to be the player of the year with that smiling face. Do you know somebody? I hope he proves us all wrong.
Yeah,
that's what we want for our players. We want them to be. We want to be proved wrong when we critique.
Of course, yeah.
He came there with.
We hope they're a failure. We want them to do well, but
yeah, of course you know you support them, don't you? When that first whistle, when whistle first blows, you're behind them 100%.
Yeah, it's just when between that whistle and the final whistle, some players can consistently kind of annoy you. So you start building a picture of, right, okay, I support them, but this is happening again and again.
Well, first thing people say about Firpo is, I wonder how many minutes it's going to take him to get his first to be booked. Do you know what I mean? Because it's got that reputation now.
Well, it's usually because he's out of position. He's usually getting the yellow cards because he's getting caught out. And if you're constantly getting yellow cards and caught out, if it's constantly happening, you don't need to be a genius to figure out why is that constantly happening. You know what I'm saying? So.
I think he got away with it though, Russell, because we didn't have anyone else last season.
Well, we haven't got anyone else this season as it stands. Even though I know Harmony's going to tell me off for that comment, but. Personally, I still think we've got that
Russell, you don't understand the pivot, mate. You've got to look into it.
I know. I've been told, so you know.
Neither do I, by the way. Neither do I. I've got clue.
Yeah.
Had Bruce Fulton on in my car yesterday. The bassist for the Jam.
Did you, Budgie? Now you're talking a band. A real band, mate. Real band. Remember Bruce?
Damn, I've heard of the Jam. I know.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Bruce Foxton.
Oh, that was brilliant band. Paul Weller.
Was it Paul Weller's band?
Earlier.
What's that, Jam? Yeah. Was that Paul Weller's band, the Jam?
Bad joke, yeah.
Yeah, it was Paul Weller.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Bruce Foxton was his bass guitarist, and then he went on, didn't he, to do Style Council, and then went on his solo career.
Wow.
Another guy.
Sandy Road's my favourite album. Paul Weller.
Great, brilliant album. You're right, mate.
Pink on White Walls, beautiful song. Pink on White Walls.
Yeah, lovely. Fantastic.
Yeah.
There you go. Go with the Jam.
What would you call the London Stadium if you could?
The Big Arse Stadium.
Would you call it Downtown Park instead of Upton Park? Downtown Park.
The seats with a view. Bring your binoculars.
Yeah, bring your binoculars stadium.
It should be called Seb Coe's Wet Dream.
That's
what it should be called.
I don't want to cause too much controversy. Do you want to just maybe call it Harrison? Oh, I'm only joking, guys. Come on, don't call me now, West Ham. I'm only joking.
Harrison. Yeah, you lost me.
Harrison Hatcher?
Oh yeah.
Steady.
Yeah.
Call it. They'd like it. They'd love to call it the GSB Stadium, wouldn't they?
Exactly.
Yeah. So you know, as soon as that thing got put up, someone would be climbing up on it, graffiti and saying "out" underneath it.
Yeah, that wouldn't take long, would it?
No, would it? Heck? The World Cup Winners' Stadium, Robert Singleton would call it.
That'll do. The wrong stadium.
Yeah, I don't know if people know this about Armani, but she used to be in the music scene, and she back in the day. And she used to do his ironing. She used to do his ironing. No, Budget. I used to work for. I worked for him years back. Lovely guy. She's done a lot around the music scene as Armani. I remember her saying.
Yeah. She was in my
Sweet
done a
Harmony.
lot around the punk scene, didn't she? Which was we had chat before. Really interesting, I'd imagine. She could write a good book, I reckon, Armani, about that era.
Yeah, definitely. It's the area what I sadly missed. Budget, love it, laugh out loud. Big Mally says, I'm away, guys, because it's going to be 3 a.m. before Stuart catches up. Great stream. Hope everyone gets 30 seconds. I'm trying. Everyone's saying that night to each other. Robert Singleton says, "Hey Stu, how come your messages don't jump? Other streams seem to use that as they get out from the stream." No. I'll never. I've always said that. My when we first started it, everyone's messages will be heard, and I wouldn't leave nobody out. Big Mally says, Trev True says, night to Big Mally. Night to Big Mally. Everyone's saying night to each other. And then Big Mally, sorry, Budget. West Ham have entered the running track. We convert.
Have the entire running track.
It's jumped again. I'm back. I'm nearly there, I think. I'm actually on 12:31, so I'm 9 minutes behind now. So I have caught up pretty good.
Caught up 41 minutes, Stu.
Yeah, it's pretty good, is that, man? I'm doing well.
So you're getting there.
To stand in that, Cieran thinks he's got loads of time to make a cuppa and refill kettle up and everything. Hello, Budgie. Trev Tube says, Robert Singleton, maybe that doesn't really jump conspiracy. Would you say night to Paul? Paul says he used to go raving in the 90s.
Oh, that would have been a great era from that Raven. Early 90s, brilliant.
Were you a raver then, Russell?
No, because I wasn't I was quite young in the 90s, but I mean, the music came out, the dance music that came out, the ecstasy in the 90s period with Ibiza, then obviously the clubs, but it must have been a hell of an era because it was quite new, and the music, some of the dance music from that, I love some of those dance songs from those times, absolutely amazing. So when I was a bit older, I used to go to Fabric in London a few times, and I was an early 2000s was my time. So yeah, but I do enjoy dance music. So yeah.
I'm well and truly old. Great night, night all. Great chat, night bucket. I stay in on a Saturday night now drinking tea. Yeah, a bit like my wife. Yeah, a bit like me. Robert Singleton, 62.
How's he? He's a year older than me, Robert. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we've definitely saw a lot of the same games then, didn't we? A lot of the same games.
Lived in between the Rolling and the Green Gate, if you know it. If you know it.
Yeah, I was the other way. I was going towards East Ham. So, yeah, I know where it is.
Paul, how are you coping with the COVID? Silent Paul. I'm fine on this. I'm fine on it. I'm just really thirsty. Keep drinking that cups of tea, Silent Paul. And making yourself you drink plenty of fluids. Armani, the first thing he asked me was not to play any of his music. He asked for tunes by Ed Sheeran. I will be buying my ticket from Kangaroo tomorrow to come and give someone a slap. You need to get over here and help Titch with his washing up about now. Night all, I'm dropping up. Night,
Trev.
Night, Trev. Nice to meet you.
You finish your comments, Ray. Yeah, I've got up. There you go. How's that?
Tish, how's your energy bar? Is it down at the bottom?
It's good.
He's
now.
gone.
It's good.
He's gone on zero. His energy bar's. He's happy now.
Yeah.
It only took us 2 hours and 45 to get there.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Not
bad at all. I'll keep up with them. Been a brilliant show tonight, lads. Hope you all have a lovely rest of the weekend. Take care. All good night.
Respect, Hammerhead.
You like Hammerhead?
Amani says, look up a band called Cash Club budget. I work for them too. Fox and Pete, Townshed's little brother, drummer and guitarist
Big
from Big
Country.
Country. They were great.
Oh, I like them. I like that Big Country. Oh, good.
Heard of them? Big Country.
Oh, your World Cup draw, Stu. I'll say it while we're on the stream. I'm definitely in once I figure out how to get the money to you. But yeah, I'm looking forward to your World Cup draw. Definitely.
Yeah, that's something I'm looking forward to. I am.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Reserve me a spot. I've got to figure out how to get that money into you. I know you sent me the email and stuff.
Cieran, you're doing it, aren't you?
So definitely going to do
Yeah,
that.
but yeah, I'm not sure how to do it either. The money thing. But put me in. I'll get Cieran on it one day and see if I can send it.
Yeah.
Just don't draw me the USA and another one. I was looking at your seeding systems. I was like, oh God, I hope I don't end up with these people in the same group and stuff. And I was like,
Yeah,
some of the
you don't
seeding
want
teams look a bit.
Look up that band. You might know that band, Kieran.
Casbah.
No, but be interesting. Don't know them. Pete Townshend's little brother. But I do remember Big Country. They were good. They were a good
Big
band.
Country. I've heard that.
Yeah. She can remind me of. They had one really big hit, Big Country. I forget what it's called.
Is it one? Is it I Want to Be With You? I'm the one who wants to be with you. I think that was Big Country. Is it Big Country?
I know the name Big Country.
Yeah, I recognise the name.
Well, I want you to show that comment, Stu, from Harmony for Cieran.
Yeah, that's what I've just shown him. It's that one.
Nah. The kangaroo one.
I found that.
Not that far. Remember when he went to just quickly get something out of the kitchen?
Oh, there you go. Amani says, there you go.
I was waiting for her to bite on the ironing comments, and it took her a while. So,
She waited till you walked off, and then she's done it.
Yeah, I was thinking of a different band for Big Country. I just checked it. No, I haven't got a clue. Yeah,
definitely.
Scotland. They'll said that for.
Alison said that she wanted to see Big Country. They had a few in Big Country, Fields of Fire.
Yeah, that sounds familiar as well. So Big Country I've heard. Maybe that's the song that I know.
Look, guys, we've been going nearly 3 hours. Has everyone enjoyed it?
Yeah.
Loved it.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Mike.
yeah. I really enjoyed
Been a
meeting
good
you
chat.
guys, chatting to the people. Felt very comfortable. It was really good, actually. So
No, I enjoyed it. 100%.
it's very interesting. One thing I did want to ask is, obviously, I'm a bit new to your channel in the sense of kind of being in it and that sort of stuff. But how come there was a lot of what intrigued me with this channel, Stu, was it's a real mix of West Ham and Leeds fans.
Yeah.
How did that kind of happen? Because I was thinking when I first came in here, I was like, just presuming everyone was Leeds fans. Did it kind of organically happen? You got to know the people, or I was very intrigued. I want to know the backstory behind the West Ham connection.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm one of these people. So, like in Scotland, my club would be Celtic over Rangers. If I lived in Scotland, if I lived in London, my club would be West Ham over Chelsea, Arsenal, and Crystal Palace. So, but you know, I've always been that sort of a person anyway. But how it all started out, do you want me to be really honest with you? Right? When me and Lee first formed this channel, we started to chat in the Leeds United YouTube channels. You know,
I used to see you
like you in chat, and not one person ever replied, not one person ever acknowledged us, not one. Whether that was because we had to name the disabled team of people who were a bit standoffish, or whether it were just, I don't know. But then during lockdown, I started watching West Ham Fan TV.
Okay.
Because they did a lot of shows over lockdown. So I started going on there, started talking to more and more people. got it more in, got asked to go on other channel, go watch other channels, recommended other channels. I did that. We did that for about, how long would you say it was, Titch, before anyone even knew we had a channel?
So Kieran, me and Kieran would have, Kieran might have been before me, because I don't really tune into the other West Ham channels. So Kieran might have seen Stuart pop up before, but we was all on West Ham Random. So that's when I first saw the name Disabled Team, and I just naturally, like you, Russell, I assumed he was West Ham because he was always part of the live stream. So I just, I just assumed. I just saw the name. So it's not even like I could see the logo. I just see his name pop up in the chat.
Yeah.
All right, go downstairs. Jeez. So that's how I met him, and I think Kieran, you would have come across Stuart on West Ham Random, or was it before?
Yeah, I'd seen Russell and Stuart and Lee commenting on West Ham Fancy and might be Amherst chat and whatever, and we got everyone there was talking to him, and you realise they were Leeds fans, and
it's good.
A lot of other
channels
didn't.
I just because I don't know if it's me being simple-mindedness, but when I go into like a Leeds thing, I mean, obviously if it's like a stream where we've lost, you expect loads of fans to come in and just give you crap, basically. But I think it threw me off when there were so many like West Ham fans in here as well. But it's not a bad thing. I was just intrigued by it, to be honest. But you kind of just think it's going to be just your tribe.
Of course you do.
You do. Yeah. But the thing was, when Leeds got promoted, I'd say 90% of West Ham fans were happy with it.
We haven't really got a thing with West Ham. I don't think there's any kind of anything really between us in that sense. So
especially like say if Robert's there, people of my age, I remember the Leeds teams of old. I remember, Mick Jones and Alan Clark and Billy Bremner.
That behind me, that's 70 FA.
We've got them memories. They are a top club, and we've always regarded thing. That's why I was delighted when Burnley got relegated, because they're not. Burnley should be in the Championship or the First Division. They're not a Premier League top, what I'd call First Division club. Leeds are. They've got the history and that, and I think they should be back in the top flight because they're that sort of team.
Mm. Yeah, it just intrigued me. To be honest with you, I was quite fascinated by it. So, but like you said, I just like to say one thing I will say about you guys, Disabled Team, is I discovered the YouTube Leeds World and podcast, and one thing you guys have really got to stop doing is downplaying yourselves. I watch a lot of this stuff. You guys are good, but you don't give yourself the credit. Take my advice. You're very down to earth, and you make the effort for a lot of people. So I have noticed that with you guys a few times. You're like, I know we're not that great. It's like, no, you are. You just don't realise it. Take my advice. You guys are good.
And they do. Stu has got a knack of picking brilliant guests, and that's where his forte is.
Yeah. They're good. They're good. Both of you are really, really good. Yeah. So, I saw you a lot in the stuff, and I didn't realise you had a channel, and I flicked on it, and I kind of kept flicking in and out, and then you can't, when you're trying to get used to people, and then the faces become familiar, and then you feel like you know them.
Yeah.
And then the more I listened to you, and the more I kind of watched, I was like, these guys are good, and you always used to downplay yourselves. It used to really annoy me off screen when I was watching. It's like, don't downplay yourselves. You're good. You're a good natural rapport with people. So
yeah, I agree.
But we always said that we would never leave a comment behind. Never leave a comment behind. Never ask for anything.
I will be fascinated, Stu, if you still keep that theory if you get to about 20,000 subscribers. Could you imagine this? Titch would literally be like this. He was like, I can't take it. There's 20,000 comments coming through.
You know what it is?
This is why I'm glad we've got a small community. I
really am. You'll grow.
Yeah.
You'll grow. I found you. You're obviously getting bigger because I found you.
Yeah.
And I weren't searching for you. You just came up on the algorithm or whatever. So,
it is hard. And that would be my one thing. I don't take YouTube too seriously, but that would be, for me, that would be a big thing. Like if you had a channel that was just going crazy where you couldn't keep up, that would actually bother me. You understand? Like, yeah, it's good to be, you'd think it's good because you're busy and that means you've got loads of subscribers. But for me, it would be a double edge, because then I would know I'm missing loads of what people are saying. So
yeah, because it's quite easy when you're on the screen like this and we're all talking. But obviously, you know, we've all been in people's things and comments, and it is, you do want them to kind of acknowledge you, don't you?
yeah.
And I think that's a big thing. I know I'm pulling it up a few times, Titch, but I think from what I can make out from what you're thinking is you realise that it's a big thing that people get the comments read and
exactly
is interactive, because then they feel part of it. Basically.
Exactly. So that you know, that's my main MO is, if I am doing a live, then yeah, and that would be the thing for me, is that if it was ever crazy busy, then you just know you can't get through everything.
No, well, it's impossible, you know. But that's why I'm intrigued. I'm kind of a little bit. There's a little devil on me. I've got the angel on one side and the devil. My little devil is going. It would be quite fun to watch Stu with 20,000 people.
Yeah, it would be. It would be.
just trying to go through it.
You know what? What would be more fun is, like I said before, if Leeds signed 5 Greek players with 14-letter surnames, you know, and we just watch Stuart mispronounce their names. That would be fun as well.
Supercalifragilistic. What was that with Mary Poppins? Supercalifragilistic.
Yeah.
Do not ask me to say that, because I'll be here as long as it took me to get through bloody chat.
Stuart just say super. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. But you have got that unique thing right now of, you've got the kind of authenticity. How do you say it? You know, authentic.
Authenticity.
Yeah, authenticity is, you can be a bit personal. Yeah. So, you know, that's right now you've kind of got that little personal core group and all your, you know, going for you. It will be interesting to see if it gets big.
And you know, like you said, Stu, like people might be wary because of your name, the disabled team. And I do remember, God, it was a long time ago, that someone asked you in a West Ham chat, why do you call yourself the disabled team? And you explained it. And everyone's going, well, and they thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, because you were. Yeah. When I saw it, and then I went in and went, oh, right, okay, yeah, you're just saying it. So, fair enough. So.
Yeah, I think you've got, I think if you're doing this sort of thing, you've got to be honest with people. I really do. I think you've got to be honest with people. You're trying to be I think people respect you for being honest.
Yeah.
And that's what we've always tried to be.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just don't downplay yourself, Stu. I think what I'm really trying to say is, mate, is, you know, I've heard you say it in a few things. You're good at you. I don't think you realise it. You're one of those ones.
Yeah.
It's frustrating to watch sometimes, because it's like, you know,
you feel like doing what Amani would do with Kieran and getting a ticket, going over and giving him a slap.
Nah,
that's what I mean. Get back in that kitchen. She should get back in that kitchen and stop worrying about football. Come on.
No comment.
Oh, okay. How do you play about big countries?
Yeah, I thought that was going through my head, Mally. The big country. It's a big country. Da, 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 da. That was the name of the song. I remember it. Yeah. In a big country.
That must be the one.
Yeah.
How many YouTube? But you're asking him, man, if there's any links.
As West Ham fans, do you look forward to when Leeds come to town then? Is it a game? I know it's not a game you'll look for straight away in your fixtures because you've got so many London derbies, but when West Ham when it's West Ham Leeds, do you think the West Ham fans look forward to that game? Is it a game you guys like, yeah, this will be juicy?
No, I think they do. I think West Ham fans do look forward to Leeds coming.
Do you?
Because you know, they've always had a good crowd, and I say in my day, they always had a big following, and a tough following too. So yeah, plus you hate Man United as much as we do, so it's all work, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'll tell you one thing we don't have, which is like you guys, and it must be quite interesting for a London club, is obviously we do get derbies, but not often because there's no Yorkshire teams in the league, but London clubs, you have a lot of derbies, don't you? You really do. It's jam-packed derbies, you guys.
Loads.
Full of them, yeah. Full of them. Yeah. That's why I say Manchester have only got real 2 big clubs to worry about, and really they only had one for a long, long time, didn't they?
Yeah.
I mean, Man City were on the same level as us, being relegated and just struggling as we did. So a lot of Newcastle have got the city to themselves, haven't they? But in London, you've got so many clubs now. If you class Brentford as a London club and Watford, there's a lot of London derbies, which sometimes can be a good thing for, you're not travelling too far going away all the time. So, because it is a big trip these days, isn't it, all over the country?
Well,
and a big experience.
And I don't know if you agree with this, that it's harder for London teams to win the Premier League because you've got so many derbies. You know what I'm saying? Because you try harder against each other because you're London rivals. So I don't know if that's a theory, but it's probably harder for London teams to win the league because you've got other teams around you really wanting to stop you more than anything.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is more of an effort when you've got that many derbies in one season. Because, I mean, you're playing them twice as well, aren't you? So it is a lot.
Who West Ham? It's Millwall, isn't it? West Ham, Millwall's your big rival, isn't it?
Yeah, it was back in the day. Yeah, it was.
Who would you say your kind of? I mean, ours is Man U. What's West Ham's kind of grudge team?
Spurs.
Oh, Spurs, is it?
Yeah.
In recent times.
Yeah.
Millwall are our biggest rival, but you just don't play them, so it doesn't really count anymore.
No.
And but in recent times, Spurs, but the team I always liked beating more back in the 70s was Man United, because they were the biggest club. They did have some of the biggest, like the likes of George Best and Bobby Charlton, Dennis Law. They had so many great players, Alex Stepney. And you knew if you beat Man United, you're making more people sad.
That's funny.
That's funny. And what also was interesting, because I spoke to our West Ham mate, and when the lockdown came, you guys, I thought West Ham were going to go down, but speaking to him, he was kind of saying that the COVID break actually really helped you with the injuries to get back, and you were really struggling at that season, weren't you? Like you were going to go down, but then you got a really good run, and you had that you got a lot of your injuries back.
Stu, I'm gonna have to go. The baby's she's woken up.
All right, mate.
Nice to meet you, Russell. And
yeah,
Kieran,
you too,
Kieran, I'll call you once I get back to sleep. I'll give you a call.
All right, mate.
Yeah, Kieran, I'll call you. Yeah? Nice one. See you later.
See you later, mate. The joys of having babies.
Yeah.
I've still got one next to me. He's still my baby.
Yeah.
BigMallys says when it came to music, my ears prick up. We want 4, we want 4. Good try, guys. We want 4. Did Robert Singleton says
4 hours? I think he's saying, because you're saying with 3 hours, he wants 4 hours.
4? No. I know them pretty well, Alison. Nice lads. We want 4, and then Robert Singleton's laughing his head off. It's all mutual respect and love, Russell. Let's go 5, Robert. I'll find out Budgie and let you know. The man is saying it is Budgie. I'm here via Twitch. All right, he's here via Titch. Yeah. I also know a few of the Starjets and the Petrol Emotion from Northern Ireland. They must be bands as well. I'm miles behind with comments against guys. Titch
is gone now. We're a bit more relaxed with it.
Oh, Manny, good one. We are all football fans, regardless of the team. That's a good point. I remember those two, Kieran. Nice to see Forest back too. I agree with that.
Yeah, exactly. Another one that's in my day, and like Robert's day there, that were a massive club, really massive club. Done so well in Europe, under Brian Clough. They were fantastic.
I don't know about you guys, but what I find strange is when you're kind of a teenager or when you first start becoming really aware of football or your team, I always associate the teams that should be in their leagues is the team from my teenage years. So when I was like a teenager, it was like Sheffield Wednesday, and then obviously you had Forest. And then it's weird to see clubs that aren't in there anymore from when you were younger. I don't know if you guys think that as well. Because I remember, because I'm from Lincoln, and I remember going to watch Lincoln play Fulham. And it's weird, or Brighton in like the, was it League? It was probably League, the 4th division then, or, League 2. So I always associate teams being in those positions from when I was like younger. If you see what I'm saying. So I always find it strange when you, you see like Fulham and Bournemouth in the Premiership. Then you see Sheffield Wednesday in League One. It doesn't compute in my head because Sheffield Wednesday were in the Premiership when I was younger.
Yeah. You do relate to it that way. I remember we
didn't be in Premier League.
Great games against West Brom back in the 70s.
Yeah.
When they had the 3 degrees in their team.
What was that full? Was it Vin? Was it Vin? What was his name? Viral? Is it Regis? Regis?
Yeah, still Regis.
Yeah,
still Regis is one of them. Get the other 2 boys now, but But we had some great games against them. They're always high scoring for some reason. 3-2s and 4-3s. So they were a constant in the 1st division back then. Not anymore.
Alison agrees with you, Russell.
Oh, what's that? Where am I? Here, Russell. Oh,
Russell, I agree. That's Alison.
Okay, that's good.
Budgie says, are you here? I mean, Russell, you should check out Hammers Fans United too, mate. Brilliant content. Yeah. Hammers Fans United is Brother Titch's channel.
Oh, is it? Oh, I'll subscribe to
Yeah.
that. Hammer Fans United. I'll do that. I'll do it now. I'll subscribe to it now. Actually, I might be able to do this. I don't know if I'm logged in on this one. I'll try.
Bournemouth, Brentford, Southampton, Brighton don't belong in the Premier League.
Yeah.
But I think we learned that the hard way, didn't we, Stu? It doesn't matter how big you are; it's the players on the pitch. So
I remember, Leeds first game I ever took Leeds to was start of the season. I can't remember which season it was. Yeovil at home. And it was summer because we had fish and chips outside Billy Brunner's statue.
Yeah.
And that was the first game I ever took you to, wasn't it? Like,
Yeovil, living there. That would have been about 2008, wasn't it? 2009.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Yeah. I will almost fan.
They were the real dark days, weren't they? Then.
Yeah. Chelino and we had problems with that GFH Holding, but it GFH Holding Capital or whatever it would call that bank.
Yeah, I don't know about how you think about this, Stu. Sorry if I feel like I'm cutting you out, Cieran.
No, carry on.
It does make me chuckle a little bit when the problems we're on about now, even in this discussion tonight, and then you think back and go, remember the days we were playing Yeovil? And it's funny how you you get used to what you've got right now, if you see what I'm saying. It's like our biggest problem is Firpo's rubbish. But actually, 12 years ago, we were playing Yeovil. So you forget about that, don't you? Because you want the success and the next big thing. But, you have to put a bit of perspective where we were, I guess, to where we are now, really.
Yeah, well, if you remember when we were in League One and we got promoted with Simon Grayson.
Yeah.
It was Trezo Candle, Jermaine Beckford.
Yeah.
Then we had a better League One team than when we were in Championship when we got promoted. Do you know what I mean? Well, we had Snodgrass and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, like the Snodgrass thing, I think I came close to saying something on social media about it. And when everyone was kind of moaning about the Phillips thing, and I was thinking, geez, remember when we used to have to wind people's contracts down and then let them go for a free, or Snodgrass went to Norwich for like, was it like £1 million because he had 6 months left on his contract?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm on about. Is we forget how bad it used to be when it came. At least we're now selling players as much as it hurts. At least we're selling players for prime money with a couple of years left on the contract, rather than let them go with 6 months left at like no money at all. So
yeah, because you can look at it that way, with Rafinha and Phillips. I mean, that's good business, regardless that you lose 2 good players. You've got 100 million probably, in the bank account. It's the way you've got to be these days, unless you're a big top club, is to do good business. And everyone's scared of us losing Rice, but it's inevitable to me. I'm not scared of it because it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. He's just too good a player to be at West Ham.
But you will be able to still sign a good player with the Rice money. I think what we fall into this trap off is, we're going to lose Phillips, we can't replace him. It's like, well, you can't, because you're going to get good money.
And you can build a team. When you remember back to Coutinho leaving Liverpool, I thought he was one of the best players in the world at the time, Coutinho. And I think they paid about 130 million. And with that, Klopp got Van Dijk, he got the goalkeeper, he got what the positions they needed to go on to win the league and the Champions League.
I think he signed Salah with that money as well. He got Salah.
Who?
Salah.
Yeah, I think you might be right. But he built the team from that money. But yet, a lot of Liverpool fans were panicking because they were losing one of the greatest players around at the time. But it was great business, and it's what you got to do.
Yeah, unless you're a Man City or a Liverpool as they are now, where you can just pick the best players at quite good prices. So.
Yeah, but Liverpool are very good at doing that, aren't they? Doing good business. You know?
Yeah.
They are very smart. They don't necessarily go out spending 100 million on players. Like, they're very smart on what they buy. Even that Diaz coming in there in January. Wow, he just took to the Premier League just like that, didn't he? He looked so good.
But he didn't really cost much money. He was only, £38 million. That's nothing.
And it's a cracking signing.
That's why I was surprised by Liverpool when they signed Núñez for 80 million. That's unheard of for Liverpool.
Mm.
That's a lot. That's a big signing for Liverpool. Really big signing.
And they've like tripled. They've like Mo Salah's wages as well. What they're paying Mo Salah now, Liverpool would never have done that 2-3 seasons ago. Never.
No.
I guess you're kind of forced to, really, because Man City is so relentless. You might have to bend what you do to a certain point to be able to keep up with them, really.
Yeah, he did. Because, to bring in Haaland, right, and basically sell Sterling for the same money.
That's good.
It's great business, isn't it?
They're also selling Nathan Ake, aren't they? For
we all know Haaland's worth 150 million in today's market, and they got him for 50. It's an absolute bargain.
Well, he had a release clause, didn't he? They could just trigger it because he knew he didn't want it to come. Yeah. The
release clause, they must be gutted with that release clause.
Yeah, that's what I thought. 57 million or whatever. That's not much, is it, really?
No, because Man City can't lose out of that. I don't matter what he does, whether he shines or not. They'll still get that.
I do think we could have probably got a little bit more for Phillips. I was a bit disappointed with 40. I think overall you're probably looking at about, I think between 45 and 50. But I think we probably could have put it 50 plus for him. So,
I thought he was a £60 million player myself. I thought he was 60.
Yeah, I think he was after the first season, but I think the injuries have come into play, basically.
Yeah. He was injured. He's injured. He's been injured for the last 5 seasons, at least.
I think that's knocked down the price, isn't it?
I could see why I
love watching when him and Rice got together in that England team. I went, wow, they look good together. Yeah. Really did. Wow.
Where do you think West Ham will finish this year? What are you thinking, Cieran, for West Ham?
I think it's hard to predict until this window shuts, to be honest. If we've got 3 over the line, if we continue on that track and get another 3 or 4 players, then we can compete. If we stop now, I think we'll be lucky to stay in the top 10. So it is all about
Conference League.
Yeah, in that Conference League, yeah.
Yeah, because so you're still going to have European football in the middle of it all. Right, okay.
Yeah, you're going to be fighting on 4 fronts to begin with. So, we've lost 4 players. Diop could be going to Fulham, is what the rumours are. So there's 5. You're 5 down. And even with the Areola signing, that's not giving you an extra player because he was part of the team last year. So we're really and we've got a small squad. So if you sign 5, we're exactly the same.
Yeah, I always thought that West Ham. When I was watching you last season, because like I say, my mate's a big West Ham fan, so I do keep an eye on West Ham. I was saying to him, mate, you're fighting on too many fronts. You Europa League, FA Cup, League Cup. Yeah, I thought no way. You went to the League Cup. You was like got to the quarters, didn't you, or something? So.
Yeah, but we were 1 win away from 6th. So.
Yeah.
But it did catch up with us that the last 8 weeks, our form weren't that great. And
it's like Leeds last year. I didn't want a cup run. I was happy to go out 3rd round. I was just like, I knew looking at our team, I was like, I don't want it. I'm not interested in it. I had so many people giving me so much rubbish when we went out to Crawley in our first season back in the Premier. I was like, I don't care. We're not going to win the FA Cup. Go out early. It's all about sticking in the Premiership. So we can have
now you've got back so many years, you've got to solidify in the Premiership. You've got to build. And it's smart, you know what I mean? And I was confident that Leeds would survive last year. I always thought they would. I thought there was enough bad teams underneath them to survive.
Do you know what? My favourite ever player is Chris Wilson. I'll tell you what. As much as Tyrone Mings gets rubbish from Leeds fans, his Martin is safe, Tyrone Mings clearing off the line, Taggart clearing off the line against Burnley, and Wilson scoring for Newcastle. I'll tell you what, I don't know about you, Stu and Lee. Oh my lord, it is Lee, isn't it? Yeah, Lee. I don't know about you last year, but I really thought we had it. I thought we were going down.
Yeah, I thought we were going down. It was the Aston Villa game.
Oh, 3-0. Yeah.
Yeah, it was straight after that Villa game. That's when I started having doubts about Leeds.
Yeah, I was nervous. To be honest with you, I was nervous before that. I was nervous for about 4 months. I was already looking at other results from like December, January. I was like, I got a horrible feeling. I started looking at everyone else. Couldn't help myself.
No. To be honest, I remember saying this to Stu at the time. I said, if you don't sack Bielsa, you will go down. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that Marsh was the answer, but you were heading, quickly towards relegation. You were gone, and I think it was a good move. Whether Marsh was the right appointment, I don't know. We'll see. But you survived. But I do believe you would have gone under Bielsa.
I think what turned with Bielsa was, I think it was after the Spurs game. He basically, was it the Spurs game? It could have been the Villa game, like Stu said. I think he basically said, "I'm not going to change." And I was like,
"Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
you got to change. We can't carry on taking teams on when we're not good enough like this."
Yeah.
So the injuries we had as well, that didn't help.
Yeah, exactly. We'll forever love him. He's got us to where he is, but it comes to a point where it's like, guys, we've got to change a bit.
Yeah, I mean, if Bielsa had kept going with a full squad without all the injuries, it might have been all right. But the injuries you had were horrendous, and it's just really bad.
I don't think a bit of the injuries there were down to the training. Personally, I thought, we're still hammering training, and we've got like 8 players available. It's like maybe we should calm down a bit, and we absolutely blitz them. So drive them into the ground, basically.
Well, I'll catch up with these messages, and then we'll call it a night, gentlemen.
Okay, yeah.
With Stu and Lee, there's a new game show starting soon. Titch will fix it. It was me that asked Stuart that, Kieran.
Was it bad?
Well, I felt that. He only stops them when I started. He only stopped them when I started winning. They call this the Talking Heads channel. Yeah, Robert calls me Talking Heads because normally you can only see my head, but now you can see my neck, you can see my t-shirt. 1984, that Big Country song in the Big Country. 1984, I'm a 4-year-old. There was also Look Away and Chance by Big Country 2.
Yeah. Look Away was a good track. Now, you should look them up now, Stu and Russell, now you've heard of them.
Yeah,
I'm
well, I'll tell you one thing, I was looking away a lot last year at the league table.
I bet you were.
I went to both Leeds games at the London Stadium, Premier FA Cup, brilliant atmosphere, and the Leeds fans created a brilliant atmosphere too. Yeah, I heard that it were a good thing. Look away, look away, look away. Do you know that they were called the Skids before Johnson left? They hug a new Bassett and they became Big Country.
No,
So
I remember the Skids too. I didn't realise that. Well,
Amani is brilliant for you know, all the music scene and stuff. She's pretty knowledgeable about football as well, to be fair to her. She does know her stuff. Big Country was where the Skids. I never knew that a man's Harmony well. Sorry for having to shoot off. Don't worry, mate. Kids, you know, kids come first. We know that, brother. We know that. We're the kids. Yeah. We're the Skids of punk wave band.
I think they were.
Family is important family is too important to apologise for Amherst United. It's very true. It's very true. Yes, Robert. They rehearsed it in an old friend of mine's pub in Dunfermline. That's how I got to know them. Wow. Everyone's you were a punk band according to Hermione. You really, really need to write a book. I think she does. Remember the song Into the Valley?
We do. Can't remember how it goes, but I do remember the title.
Yeah, but I don't like jumping off so abruptly. I am still here listening very quietly with the brightness right down. Don't really rubber with. That's them, Robert, according to Budgie. One of my favourites. Wow. Saints are coming. Budgie says, nice one, Titch. And then Brother Titch says, thank you, everyone who tuned in. So a few punk bands back in the day at Ronnie Scott's.
Wow. Ronnie Scott's, yeah. Big club in London.
Wow. I loved a girl band called, I don't want to say that wrong.
The Slit. They're called the Slit.
Right. Saw them 4 times. Couldn't play a bloody note. We couldn't play a bloody note though. So why did you go watch them 4 times? Hurry up. Budgie laughing his head off. It's the spitting I didn't like. She's.
Bow Wow Wow. No, another one. Yeah, Bow Wow Wow. Remember them?
Wow.
There was another band, Bow Wow Wow.
See, I'm not right. I'm going to really confess some. I mean, music, because I had kids and stuff. I didn't really get time to listen to music, and you know, kids wanting to do things and do it. Everything was done with them. You see, so I mean, I have started to listen to a bit now, though. I must admit, I have started to listen to a bit of music now, but not like these rock bands and punk bands and stuff like that. Bad news for you, Russell. I live in Crawley, Braun and
yeah. So it's on about the FA Cup thing with Crawley, yeah. But I wasn't that fussed when we got knocked. I got a lot of jip for it, as I'm sure most Leeds fans, but I wasn't really that bothered, to be honest with you.
Well, we got knocked out. Were it Histon who knocked us out once upon a time as well?
Yeah, the old Fabian Delph days, they were, yeah.
Yeah. Budgie, good old days, Budgie. Too scared to fall asleep at parties in case someone nicks your shoes. Would you, Angel Ed? Yes, Arms. When they finished their set, I told her we drunk about 3 hours before she had to go back to her hotel. Sadly, Airy died over 10 years ago. She was only 48. Wow. No age, is it? It's no age. And then Budgie laughing his head off. Right, guys. I think we're going to end the show there, lads. It's been a really good show. Look, Russell, I have put in. Where can people find you? I have put your link in the description. Where can people get to see more of you, if you know what I mean, with your comments and stuff?
Well, I always flit around all the YouTube channels, and like I say, I'm kind of in comments on most. I watch a lot of replays, so I'm a bit random when I'm in my lives, obviously between work and when I'm in the lives. But there's a lot of names I recognise in here actually, and all that sort of stuff. So, I'll be flitting around somewhere in the background. Alison and Marty I recognise, even Harmony I recognise from a few of the other things and stuff like that. So yeah, you'll find me in the background floating around, annoying people with my stupid comments. But
there's another one you can tune into there, Russell. Budgie's got his own channel called Green Street Elites.
Has he really?
Yeah, he has, and that's good. I'll pop on with him now and again.
Well, I was going to say, I've got Hammers Fans United. Is that the gentleman who's on? Is that Tish's channel?
That's it, yeah.
So I'll subscribe to that one. What's the other one?
And Budgie's got Green Street Elites.
Let me write that one in quickly. Green Street Elites.
He says crying, not laughing, Stu. Oh, it's crying. Sorry, I thought you were laughing. Sorry, crying. Sorry, would you? Thanks all.
Oh, yeah, there he is. Yeah, subscribe to that one. There you go.
There you go. There's another subscriber for you, Budge.
I'll tell you what, Alison's everywhere, and she's in everything. Alison's hardcore leads. She is. She really is.
Yeah. She's a great. She supports all Leeds channels, doesn't she? She's brilliant.
Yeah. So
she really is.
Yeah, I've subscribed to you, Budgie, and if Tish's still in here, you got another sub to bump up your numbers.
Go wild in the country where sex in the grass was accidentally free.
Was it?
I just felt on all that.
You quote in lyrics.
Oh, it's Cieran. And on the minute, sorry. I like Budgie's channel. Good. Amani says, "No, I love the people." Russell, look up the double people.
She's getting that needle in. I think we'll agree to disagree. I think that's where we're going to go with this one, aren't we?
Yeah.
So.
It's all right. I'm just starting to go at you. Wait till next bit. Cieran, learn to do some manners. Learn some manners.
I'm at the age you. I can say what I want and get away with it. So bollocks.
I'm all on it. You are, Alison. You're all over, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Thanks, Russell. Thanks, Ernie.
You're nice to meet you, Cieran. Thanks for hosting, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, great to see you, Russell. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's been
Alistair
good.
never sleeps. No props, Budgie. It's all about the fans more than the club, Russell. Great meeting you, Russell. Titch is saying, and Top Man is saying to you, Russell. So thank you everybody for watching this edition at Disabled Team. It's been brilliant, been really good. Let's enjoy the rest of the weekend. And hopefully it'll be a quiet day tomorrow on Leeds front, really. But yeah, anyway, look, guys, thank you everybody for watching this Disabled Team. It's a goodbye from me.
Go on, mate. And before you go, Stewie, I'll let you know how good Leeds are when I go to watch them next Sunday at the Suncorp Stadium.
Oh, jealous.
That'd be brilliant.
I've got the ticket. Me and my boy are going. Yeah, we're going to support Leeds next Sunday at Suncorp against who are they playing? Palace or Villa, one of you. Palace, isn't it? So there you
Wow.
go. So good luck with that, and I'll try and video a couple of bits, Stu, and send them to you.
Thank you very much, Kieran. And I'll put them on. I'll do like a little video and put it on.
All right. Night,
Sounds
everyone.
good.
Take care, everybody.
See you later.